Mhm.
Hello, survivors, and welcome to the the bunker with RSG. I've already drank too much, apparently. Welcome to the bunker. I'm T McVenom with Reality Skewed Gamers, and you're watching the bunker with RSG for State of Survival on Friday nights. Finn, stop laughing. Okay, so thank you guys for joining. We have Daedric from State 42. Delete is from 125 and 359. And then we have Finn, the jerk that's laughing at me nonstop. He's from 359 as well. I'm from 125 and 359. Thank you guys for joining us.
Welcome to the burger.
It's going to be one of those streams, isn't it? I can already feel it.
I can't. Like that, it makes me happy.
Welcome to the bunker. Howdy ho.
So good. This is so good. Another beautiful Friday night with friends.
Right?
I
Hello,
love
Loki.
it so much.
Loki said, I'm going to be watching this stream on my big ass TV and it's going to be great. I'm sure that was great.
Make sure your volume's up so you can hear burger.
Stop it. Hello, Thane Kyrell. What's up, McVenom? McVenom made me happy before she broke my heart. How did I break your heart? Leaving State of Swaga was kind of just a natural progression. All games come to an end. I'm still here. I still love you. Contingent 33, nice to see you. So tonight we're going to be discussing the update. We're going to talk about the little new hero a little bit. And then we're also going to talk about the whole state merger rumors later on, because there's some things to say on that. But first off, we want to get into the first thing. We have a code. Well, let me wait a little bit before I pop the code in. Wait until some more people get on. So, guys, what do you think about...
It's already too late, by the way. You have one of the codes just like flashing on the
Oh
screen.
my gosh, I do. Shit.
Oh, that's kind of...
Man.
over. One of the codes is already out.
Shh. People will pop in and they won't know. Shh. Shh. Damn it,
Oh,
Finn.
man. How am I not supposed to be to like respond to that code though? That code is epic.
It was.
Stop it.
It was an epic code.
I'm starting to blush here. Stop it. Contingent 33 said he's not going to say a word, so we're just gonna move on like we haven't done anything. Shh, shh. We're gonna keep going. Hey everyone.
This is the greatest episode of the Barker ever.
The burger. Welcome to the burger. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is the update. Actually, let me pull up. I had it pulled up here. The update information. ASDF rock on. Stop it. See, now they know. They know. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the first.
If you know, you know.
There we go. First code is Rock On Alan. I was going to save that for later on tonight, but we're going to have to use that one first.
Look at the reactor from Daedric there.
Everybody, ready? We're gonna say it together on three. 3, 2, 1.
Rock on, Alan! It is a fantastic code.
Oh, that is just absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
That
I
is.
mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Not all of it. So the first thing we're going to do is, oh my gosh, where is my update? So we're talking about 1.9.40 update. So, Finn, do you have that update noticing your thing while I'm pulling up my 5K viewer here? I forgot to
The
pull
one
it
that
up.
we actually got in game? Yeah, I have the one we
Yeah.
got in game. So, it said, update announcement 1.9.40. Dear survivors, the updated content for version 1.9.40 is as follows. Events. The new Halloween events are coming. Ooh. They didn't actually put that in text. That's just my flavor. Ooh, yeah. They didn't put a bunch of O's. I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh my
Optimizations. What? What? It's one of those streams. It's just one of
Yeah,
those streams.
it is.
All right. Optimizations. Optimize building icons in the skins page. Optimize unlock notifications for Intel Radar. Optimize visual performance of various objects in the settlement. That is from your State of Survival team. And then they gave a bunch of rewards like they always do. There you go. That was
There
that
we
was
go.
the update.
I finally got it in here. Okay. Finally. Okay, so yeah, so the Halloween events are coming, which I find very exciting because I'm always jealous as hell because I did not get the Halloween skin last year when we got it. Like, and you have the coolest Halloween skin ever, Delete. But we did get Halloween skins. Didn't we get some skins, though, in some events?
That was I got my Halloween one because of the faux pas, the accident.
Oh, that's why
third
you're the
round
only
all
one that
states.
has it. Is that why you're the only one that has it?
It's me and Likey's. And Likey's doesn't like to
Oh.
flaunt it like I do.
Little jerk. Okay.
I flaunt that sucker.
For some reason, yeah, of course you weren't there last Halloween, so you wouldn't have had it. So I was like, how did you get it if there was some kind of event that I missed that I wasn't able to get it? You suck.
They did take away my snow globe, though.
Oh,
They
did
took my
they?
snow globe away. I
That's
remember
the other
that.
one, right? The celebrate the anniversary one where they gave away the free perma skins, but then they also accidentally gave it to the extra people. But it was supposed to be like the
Yeah.
top 200 in all the states that was supposed to.
Let me
to
show.
get it, but they-
You still have
they changed that.
you still have
They-
it on.
They took away tofu from me
Delete.
to delete.
Yeah.
Yeah,
look,
yeah, mine's
see?
still on.
There's deletes here. Let me give him some boost here. But that's the Halloween skin. It's really
I
cool.
will have you
looking.
all know, I typically don't bubble at all. And
Ever.
I have a bubble on today.
He never bubbles ever. He doesn't
Never
really have
bubbles.
to.
I welcome attacks in my state. I truly do. But tonight, I just felt like a bubble was warranted.
Yeah, right. So the other thing, let me see, the Halloween, let's see what happened to it. Here we go. So we have the Halloween skin, the Halloween events, optimization. So what else goes into the Halloween events?
So it's
So we
like,
have
it's probably like,
Go ahead.
Good.
it's probably like the last one where it's like you have to do, you've got to spend like caps, you have to gather, you have to do different things to basically unlock to get points in that one event to basically where you have to like, last one was like kill the monster, or the other one was like drive around, put gas in the gas tank and
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
like
the
that.
gas tank event. Yep.
So it's probably one of those, and then like its own survival of the fittest kind of thing.
Daedric, do you remember what the Halloween, is this the same Infernal Night? Is this the same one that you guys had?
No, this is brand new. So they've done a year 2 Halloween skin. The one Delete and I have are year 1. And
So they're
Delete's
retired?
Yes. Yeah. So
Skins are come one time only.
Yeah, what games will do, and it's really, really cool, is they'll have, just like hero generations, they treat skins the same way and frames the same way. You'll actually even notice the frame, again, is a year 2 Halloween frame. What the coolest thing about skins in any game is it shows how long a player's been playing, because they'll have a collection of skins over the years. Like if you're 4 years into the game, it's really cool if you come across someone who's had, the year 1 to year 4. It's just a really cool kind of like Hall of Fame type feel.
Agree. Yeah. Thane Carell donated
They get
$2.
badges.
Thank you, Thane, for the $2 donation. Finn, why are you more animated in these streams?
So I'm freaking running away from zombies.
He's also just animated because he's laughing at me most of the time. He's picking on me. That's why.
I'm not picking on you.
So yeah, I see the skin here. You can't really get the details of it, but Infernal Castle skin looks pretty cool. I like the Witching Hour skin.
You can go into your I saw a closer look on it earlier. I think you can go into your skins and it's there.
Yeah.
I think is where I saw it. It's like a little walking like house.
Let me change.
The house has little legs and it has like a spooky face on it. It's actually really cool looking.
Yeah.
That's kind of a piggyback because the old one was like the March skin was the coffin with legs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So now it's like your settlement buff is your settlement skin is that.
Let me
so it's
see.
actually it's pretty neat.
Speaking of skins,
they don't have it in here. Oh yeah, they do. There she is. That is cool. I'm sorry, but I really like that.
Mm-hmm. And it looks cool because like the roof looks like a little mustache.
Yeah.
And then they have the witching hour for the march. They have both of them in here, so it is pretty neat.
And
I like the HQ skin though.
The Infernal Castle looks like Monster House. Do you remember that movie, Monster House?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of neat. Okay, so what else do we have? Oh, daggone, I just missed it. And then you have the frame, which is cool. I like that. The screaming tree, that's the little decorations. I'm sure Finn's going to eat up with the decorations everywhere.
If I can get them.
Yeah, and then you have
I think I can get these, but they take a little bit.
And then you have the Devil's Night event. It looks like candy, so it's probably going to be like the gas tanks or the painting thing, but with candy.
It's makeup.
Oh.
So the like the item you're collecting for this one is makeup.
Oh, I just assumed it would be candy because it's Halloween.
Mm-mm. No, so you have to like I don't know exactly what you're gonna do with it, but you're earning makeup as the event currency for this one. It's a bag with like lipstick and other stuff in there.
Durgan said,
I feel like the coolest one was the spray can.
I like the spray can too. I did too.
I thought that was like the coolest one.
It was the coolest effect.
Or was it Eva like stabbing the monster in the groin?
Well, it was because her head was positioned quite awkwardly where her head was on the monster. Whoa, I'm about to knock my thing over. Man, wouldn't that be bad if my whole like system just fell over?
That would be a disaster in the bar.
It would be par for the stream though, to be honest. So, Durgan said, which witch is McVenom, you jerk. I think we know I'm not that bad of a witch. Okay. So, hi Bean, nice to see you. Miss Spooky, Dark Jedi, Fifu, Nightmare. Finn took us all sightseeing around State 359 this morning. It was great to see all the views our state offers. Thanks, Finn. Finn is pretty good. Finn's actually going to start making...
he's kind of trolling me.
I thought he was serious because Finn is actually going to start making some videos. I'm going to try to make videos. Finn's going to make some. Finn's videos are going to be way in depth. Where mine are just going to be like, okay, you just click this little button here and this is what happens. And mine's going to be for the beginner and Finn's are going to be like the nerd Sheldon breakdown of each thing, which I'm sure most of our viewers will dig.
The beautiful mind version.
Yes, the beautiful mind version. Exactly.
No, he's talking about the fact that today was the Fortress fight day, right?
Yeah.
And we went around to like the facilities and the bunkers, but we were the ones that we were up against. We were just up against people that were just higher because we max out at T9s. We were facing people that had like Plasma 1 and T10s. So we were just trying to get the first occupancy into the facility and into the bunkers. So we went through like all of them and tried to get into but we didn't get any of them. So he was just like, yeah, we went sightseeing because we literally just like ported there, didn't get first occupancy. Went to the next one, didn't get first occupancy. I was like, okay, no, we went sightseeing in 359. It was fun.
Sorry.
Stealing first occupancy on an alliance. Ooh, that's
against our rules in 359, Finn. You know that, right?
Stealing it legitimately by like doing the rally and outspeeding them. That's what we were doing.
Oh, you're not meaning just like speeding one person in there.
No, not attack. No, not solo attack. We're not doing that. That's a whole separate issue that we have going on right now. But no, I'm just talking about straight up doing a rally. The first one, I didn't realize you needed stamina in order to set a rally on a fortress or on a facility.
Speaking
the first time in a PvP thing that I needed stamina. Just throwing that out there.
Speaking of the word stamina, Jeremy123 in the chat, in our RSG chat, said that spam stands for spicy ham. Did you guys know that?
I've heard several different things of what spam stands for.
Spam, it means spicy ham, so it's equivalent of spicy ham stamina. It's stamina.
I'm fine with that.
I feel like it would be spiced ham.
Yeah.
Because spam, I feel like spam
doesn't have
spicy.
any spice whatsoever, if you ask me.
It doesn't. That's the thing. So I've heard so many different things about what spam actually means that I honestly don't know.
Gotcha.
I'm okay with saying it's spicy ham, but I don't think so. I don't think it's spicy.
Yeah.
But I also have heard way too much about what spam stands for.
Fee says spam spicy, though. I don't think it's spicy at all, so I don't know what's going on there.
But I'm fine with it being
like
spicy
it's not
ham
like
stamina.
Tabasco.
This is
I feel like it's just a bunch of sodium.
This is need to know discussion right here about the spam and non-spam.
If you're not on it.
So yeah, where's the guy that sounds like Mobile Gamer? I'm not sure he's in. I'm not sure who he's talking about. I think he might be talking about Mako. Does Mako sound like Mobile Gamer? Maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
Mako may be joining us on another stream. I actually reached out to him because I just think he's just awesome. He gives so much knowledge. Daedric missed the last time he was on, but he's just a great guy. I think he would do really well in this. And Ouchie said it means special processed American meat. That's what spam stands for.
That's what I've seen more of in terms of what it stands for, but I honestly don't know what it stands for. I just know it as spam.
Hey Maz, Kanada. What's going on, Chicky? Ouchie Dumpling, thank you guys for joining. Okay, so those are all the Halloween events. Is there any Halloween section that we missed on that? I don't think so. I think that was it for the Halloween stuff. The other thing is optimize building icons in the skins page. Sometimes they're wording, I'm just not really sure. Optimize building icons on the skins page. So that means they just took the skins page and they just optimized what the buildings look like? Is that what they just did, a graphics rework?
That's what it sounds like. A lot of these sounds like just interface type.
Got
updates.
it. Yeah, optimize unlock notification for Intel radar. And then optimize visual performances of various objects in the settlement state of survival team. Or that was from the state of survival team. So in the settlement. So they just reworked a lot of the visuals in the in your settlement. So there is also talk of another I've seen it in some of the discords that there's another update coming. 42 is coming, but honestly I haven't really delved into any of the servers to really figure out what that's about. But as soon as we get any information, we'll let you know. So question today, we rallied on the bunkers and we were second, but instead of hitting the bunker and attacking the guild that got in first, we just got rejected and it didn't hit. What gives?
Yeah, that's happened before.
So is that...
It happened both times, right? And I just have my theory on what it is, and you guys have done it before, so you can tell me. But I think the way it is that when you're first trying to take over the facility or the bunker, it's like you're targeting whatever the monster is that's in there, and you have to defeat it. So your rally is on the monster. So when the first guild or the first alliance defeats it, you no longer have a target. So it doesn't try to give you occupancy. It just straight up just rejects you because your target is invalid, is what I think is happening. But a lot of people were surprised that it happened today because I guess I don't know if it's consistent happens or what.
Yeah, Finn, you're 100% correct. It's similar to if you attack a person's settlement and they relocate and you get a system mail that says target has moved. It's the exact same concept, except you don't get a system mail. The target's literally just gone. It's happened to us anytime we've done a bunker and similar situation has arisen. So it is actually a consistent thing that I've seen many times in the past.
Yeah, I always think of it as like...
It wasn't always like that.
It's like a monster guarding the bunker. I always think of it as like a zombie guarding the bunker that you have to take out first before you control it.
Yeah.
So.
But Delete was saying it wasn't always like that. Like it used to be that you could.
It used to be like the first hit. Everyone that was kind of going for first hit, they would combine. You know, they wouldn't get bounced back. Everyone would just hit each other, and it would basically like the bunker control would go like through like a crazy response. It would be like if everyone wasn't strong enough or whatever. You know, but early on in 125, you would hit, and then someone else would hit you, and then your troops would be diminished, and then someone else would take over, and so on and so forth, and it would kind of go back and forth. And then it was like, I felt like it was pretty early on after that they changed that, where it was like your rally now wasn't against the building, it was against, you know, the monster first, and then everything else after that, because it was like, it'd be annoying. Because when the first hit happens, and the next thing you know, it's gone, and then the 5-minute rally that you had going on doesn't land, and it's just like, you got to start all over, and it's just like,
I thought it was a good thing though. Honest, like I thought the change, if it was like a change that they did a while ago, I like it this way, right? Because otherwise, like either you're first, or you're best being the last of the first group, so that you take occupancy and you can hold. Because you're not going to find enough time between the other rallies to reinforce your stuff, and you're just going to take a whole bunch of wounded troops in your hospital right off the bat because you tried to go for first and just missed. So I kind of like it this way because we got it returned, and it took me a while to try and figure out like exactly what was going on. And yeah, I mean, I kind of like it this way. It makes more sense, especially now if you're going to start getting your troops in your hospital. It's like you're legitimately doing it, right? You're planning it because you know you are fighting another alliance, whether it's this alliance or another alliance that takes over before you get in. You know you are fighting other alliances. It doesn't feel like you're going in for a PvE battle to start off. And you can plan better that way. So I did like the fact that we got rejected. It was just confusing. That's all it was. It was a little confusing for the first time it happens.
So I had a couple of questions in the chat. Is that the Blair Witch symbol in McBee's castle? She's a witch confirmed. Actually, that's my burning Finn. I was really upset with Finn, so I made a Burning Man Finn in there. It does kind of look like the Blair Witch symbol. I'll take that too. I don't know. I don't really like a lot of trees and clutter in my my settlement, so that was the easiest way to do it. Plus, I just wanted to
Burning Finn.
Yeah,
I love it.
Question: is there a rivalry like TI and MAW in this game? So because we have so many different states, there's not like two giant alliances that war. However, there are some standouts. If you look at the leaderboard, you can go to the world or the whole game leaderboards, and there's some alliances that are standout alliances. I know that 42 and who did you guys play? Daedric?
BRA from 35.
35. They are some of the top alliances in the game, and they went at it, and it was fun to hear the replays from that and watch some of that stuff. I've got the beer burps. Sorry, guys. So there is some standout wars going on, but I know in every state there's like rivalries. We have ours in State 125. We obviously have some in 359 as well. I know Daedric's got tons in his state. Yeah.
No, actually, no, not tons. It's one.
One big one. Yeah.
Yeah, one.
I feel like all the top alliances really kind of do talk crap about each other when it comes to like showdown, because like random people would they'd be like, oh, we're going against this, and it's like, but then the most exciting thing is like, I think we're gonna go center and left this time.
Whatever.
So it's not really that, whatever, but I remember like Scorn and Fury kind of like going back and forth randomly on it and stuff like that, but nothing intense.
Yeah, I'm so sad that Scorn quit, because Scorn's alliance was pretty active too. So it would have been fun to see them go against some of the bigger known alliances in SVS. But anyway, next question is there. So let's see. Oh, Fee said that also happened. What you were talking about happened during capital events. If the holding alliance pulls from the tower completely, you then have to take it with a solo march. So that happens in capital. Question for McVenom.
Wait.
What?
In capital, if they pull all the troops and you set a rally, it just rejects yours. So that means
you have to solo.
Like nobody takes in.
No,
I don't think so. I think that's incorrect.
Yeah, that is incorrect, because we've done that many times. Quite often, if your tower's being hit and you know you're going to lose the rally, like it's a person who's stronger than you, everybody pulls out of the tower. The tower is always captured by the alliance that does the rally.
But I think maybe is he talking about everybody out of the tower and in the center?
He's saying it happened this past SVS, so maybe there was some issue this past one, but I remember.
Oh, yeah, he said it was bouncing them back. Interesting.
Yeah, I would, Fee, if I were you, I'd just report that into the SOS Discord or Facebook. That is not a normal issue. Again, we've had it many times in the past where people are pulling out of towers and rallies have never bounced. Because keep in mind, you don't have a monster guarding the tower, right? It's just it's a neutral building. So I would send in a support request regarding that issue.
Oh, thank you.
People saying,
Thank you, Miss Misfit. She's a new member, RSG member. Thank you so much. We appreciate that support. She's a new Alliance member, too, in 359, and we love her. She's awesome. She's super funny and just super sweet.
That's going to buy you a little bit of extra time, Mr.
Finn was threatening to kick her earlier, and I said, no way.
That buys you a little bit of time. So that was
like 100% infantry and trap or something? Why would you pick someone in 359?
No comment. I don't tell people the reasons of my ways. Just throwing that
Fair
out.
enough.
We like her, too. So
no, but Fifu was saying you guys had to have Sin solo a tower to take it?
I'm not sure.
I mean, if you could bank on that, then you could be using that as a strategy. If you saw the next top player basically at 4:59 right before they launch, you would just leave the tower and it would cancel its rally, and someone would just solo to kind of come right back in, and you could kind of negate the time that they would have in the tower if you could do that. I mean, that was a strategy piece, but I don't. Whenever people leave a tower, the march continues on. Because the march is really against the tower, and the people that are in it is what you're attacking. It's not the other way around.
I don't know. He said delete wasn't on at the time, so I don't know. Maybe we'll have to try to test that maybe next cap or something.
Because we've seen that before. If somebody ports also, right? If they join a rally and then they port, that'll sometimes send it back. So
that'll negate it.
That might be something else that maybe affected it. I have no clue, but yeah, I haven't heard that on the tower because Bean was saying that's on the tower too.
Yeah. So, Thane Carell question for McVenom. I hear you are what is basically a game changer for this game, so why aren't you bringing these things up during beta? Okay, so for those of you who don't know, a lot of content creators in other games, if they are involved in some of the dev conversations and stuff, they're called, our last game was called a game changer. In this game, we have what's called SOS ambassadors, or Kings Group ambassadors, and I am a Kings Group official ambassador. But, however, I don't have Android. I am an iPhone user, and the betas are in Android. And it pisses me off so bad. Now, I know that they had some...
cross-platform.
I know. I was just about to say that. Thank you. I know the last one that they did do a cross-platform one, and I've just been super tied up bananas with work, so I didn't get to do that one. But the next one that is cross-platform, I will be partaking in. So
no, I'm saying you can put your Apple one on emulator to do it on Android.
They said they're going to try to do they're going to try to do iPhone.
They might do that too, but you can get yours on Android.
Yeah, you'll have to help me with that. I don't want to.
Yeah, so for anyone out there, right, I mentioned this on one of the very earlier streams, right, because I was unable to cross-platform my Apple into an emulator for Android. So this is kind of maybe just like a PSA for all of you guys. You can actually cross-platform your Apple with your emulator, but there's a weird little trick to it, because what happens is that on your Apple device, when you try to link it to like a Facebook or something, right? It tries to log you in to the app. And if it goes to the app and you log in, by the time you come back to the game, it says that the action is already canceled because it doesn't want you tabbing out of the game. So the way you have to link your account to Facebook on Apple is by deleting the Facebook app, then doing it, because then you log in within the State of Survival app, and then you can reinstall it afterwards, because then your account is linked with Facebook, and then you can link it onto Android. It's a weird little quirk with the way that you have to do it, but I deleted the Facebook app and figured that out, and I was good. I have my Android and my Apple ones are linked.
Finn,
so you can do cross-platform, but it's
the last time I let you walk me through how to like bind and rebind devices, I completely lost my game for like 2 weeks. Do you remember that on Swagah?
Yeah, but it wasn't you trying to rebind yours. It was you trying to get someone else's to help them.
I know, but now I'm terrified of trying to mess with all that stuff, because I'm like, if I put down 9 months worth of work like that, I will be so mad. Maybe I'll let you walk me through it one day.
Okay.
Thane Kyrell said $2, you were fired. McVenom is fired. Okay.
I was good down here in the Barker.
The Barker.
Yeah.
The Barker.
You're totally fired from the Barker.
The Barker. I already heard. Where's the Barker? Miss Misfit, $5. McVie rules. Don't be Jay. Thank you, Miss Misfit. I love her more and more every day. She's awesome. Okay. Gift code says it's not found. Rock on Allen. That should be
two
good.
L's. Make sure it's two L's.
Two L's. Oh, did I put 2 L's? Yeah, I did.
No, it is. You have 2 L's there. That is the correct one.
Somebody try it again and make sure.
No, they're on. I tested it. I tested it just now. We're good.
Bean, try it one more time with 2 L's. Rock on Allen. ALLAN.
Yep, double L. If you just do single L, it does not work. This Allen has 2 L's. Just throwing that out there.
I think it's 1,000 gift code. I think it's 1,000 biocaps and some speed ups, right?
Yeah, it's 1,000 biocaps and 35-minute general speed ups.
Yeah. It's Alan, the way that Daedric pronounces it. Rock on, Alan.
It's true.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think we went through all the updates.
Oh, she did EN.
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Then I'm missing one update.
What? Oh, no. What am I missing? Tell me.
The update that they added, which is kick-ass, by the way, is Plasma Area Defense System patch.
Oh, yes. Gosh.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah. Which caught me completely unawares.
So players, for those of you who don't know, anybody who is a Plasma 4 or Plasma 5, you'll notice that you have a cannon installed on your headquarters. So in your settlement, go inside your settlement.
I can't show you guys this because I don't have it.
Click on the HQ. You'll notice that there's a new tab now when you click on your HQ called Plasma Defense. If you click that, you'll have a menu that'll pop up that'll explain how it works. But you have ammunition for your cannon. So within an area radius, and you can actually click the information button, it'll show you the radius in which how far the cannon can span. You can protect 2 people within your hive that are around you. And so what will happen is if their settlement is attacked by a rally or a solo, your cannon will fire plasma rounds against that enemy solo or rally and will do a significant amount of damage. So even if that person beats that settlement, they will take a much higher amount of losses because of the pad system that's being targeted to that settlement. If that person teleports out that you're protecting, they move out of that area radius, a little notification will come up on that menu that says not protected. So they're no longer within your radius. So you actually have to change the target that you're protecting based off of who's in that area.
It'll also drop, so you get to choose 3 people that you can protect within that radius, and it will drop their shield if you select them. Which, I mean, you're giving them a shield anyway, but it will cancel out the shield that they put on. Because I did it to one of our members, and it was just like, hey, you broke my shield. And I was just like, yeah, but I figured I'd, use you as this, because if anyone's going to get attacked, it's probably going to be you. And I think they weren't attacked, actually. The 3 people I protected were completely fine. But now it's going to change, like Hive setup completely. Because if you can do it effectively, and you do it smart, you can protect a pretty good amount of people with the amount of plasma that you have, if you have enough Plasma 4 and 5 members. So yeah, but it is pretty cool.
Have you got to use it, Daedric, in battle?
No, so it hasn't been tested yet, but you do have 10 plasma cannon rounds, and it slowly regenerates over time. It does give you the time frame in which they do regenerate. And the ammo used is dependent on the power of the attack. So the more powerful the enemy that attacks that settlement, the more plasma rounds that are used. So that's just something to keep in mind, but they do regenerate over time. It's just a really, really cool feature, and it actually changes the whole PvP defense strategy for a hive now, because if you were cautious before attacking a hive, you're going to be very cautious now, because again, even if you win, you're going to be taking a much higher loss ratio because of this plasma defense system. It's a great, really, really great addition. So whoever came up with that on King's Group, that was a brilliant idea.
Protecting your 2 billion kills, that's what that is.
Yeah.
You think it's that one guy that we think is coming up with all the great ideas? It's that
Yeah.
same one guy?
Well, so just an example. So I've talked about spelling a few times in the game, right, with system mails. So if you look at all the stuff that's been in the game since you started, the language use and the way everything's set up is very different from how they release things now. So it was either a different person who set it up initially and who isn't there anymore, or they're just not getting that guy to do it. Because the way things are being presented today compared to things that are already in place since you started your account, you can tell the difference, that it was either a different guy, or it's just not the same team.
Gotcha.
Okay. So FIFU says that there's one downside to the new system, which I don't like. And he's going to say what it is, but do you guys see any downsides? I have zero clue what the hell's going on with these plasma things, because obviously I'm in a newer state, right? But I guess I'm thinking about this from a multiple perspective. But do you guys see any downside with this in terms of the cannon and the new setup?
I don't.
No. I mean, I'm not like a settlement attacker anyway. I feel like it's just an use of troops, because the amount of losses you take and the amount of hours it takes to kind of come back, and the fact that, a lot of the times they're just taking wounded anyway, just isn't that beneficial to me to kind of go around and attack settlements. I play the game for different reasons. But there are people that play, the game to just attack settlements and go for kills. Sitting right next to Daedric is probably the two sides of the coin. But yeah, I don't see a downside to it, because it should be kind of penal if you just want to roll around and just kind of, just destroy people. It just be like, oh, all right. Well, I mean, because that basically, from what I've seen, it's always lessened the amount of people that play. It doesn't increase the amount of people that pay when they turn on the game and they see their settlements completely destroyed.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone be like, oh, great, it's destroyed, so I get to build it all back again. This is so much fun. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
But
well, how big is the radius that you have for the settlements?
50
which is how many of those squares? Each square is 10?
I'll tell you.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one.
So it should be like 5. So you could probably have like 2.5 bases worth of coverage, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was thinking the one thing potentially bad is the way that everyone sets up for trap, right? And you might have your plasmas right around trap, like your highest plasmas, your 5 and 4s might be there. And so then how do you get those maybe weaker bases that you're trying to protect close? So if the radius is that kind of big, it might be a better setup, right? Because you can kind of set up your trap and not have to change so much. But are you guys changing your setups at all with the new towers, or changing for trap, going to a PvP one afterwards? What is your guys' typical strategy starting with Daedric?
Well, it's cool because I just joined a German alliance, and so I'm in a completely different time zone. Like when it's morning for me, it's night for them. So I'm actually not even beside trap. I am a couple squares outside of it, so I have more of a berth to protect the guys on the outer rim. And I've noticed, obviously, because this is a brand new thing that was just released, but I've noticed a few groups in other states, they're checking to see who wants to commit to trap and who doesn't. And then they're taking those people who say, nope, take me off the list. Because again, you have to be at least a plasma 4. And there's, a lot of states, 42 we're growing in number. You're not going to get a ton of plasma 4s and 5s in a state. Like usually a state will have less than 50, and you're talking about 10 different alliances, right? So the amount you actually have in your alliance is very small, unless you're a top group. But again, we're just finding out who's not wanting to commit to trap, and then we're just creating like a little defense perimeter around the hive.
Okay. And Chad is saying that it's the plasma 5s that allow to protect others. It's only the 5 stars that do it, and not the 4 stars. So, that's what they're saying?
I thought it was 4 and 5.
Yeah, because they
both saying my plasma 4 does not let me use the pads.
What state?
What state are you in, Abdel? We can tell. By the way, welcome, Abdel. But I am wondering if this. Okay, so having gone through my first SVS, right? I'm wondering if this could lead to a potentially nasty strategy where when you're defending, right, you can set up all of your settlements and stuff. And sometimes people will set up like those dummy ones, right? They might make the alts and stuff on the other ones. But couldn't you just create alts of your own at that point, just fill up the area and put like a plasma 5 there and just protect them so that anyone that has to go through is now going to have to deal with your plasma charges in order to break through and get closer to the hive if you're on defense? You don't even have to put like your actual bases, right? You can just put the fake ones, let them attack it and just die to your cannons.
Yep.
Yes.
So I think this goes back to needing to change the fact that defense is somehow an advantage. Losing prep stage in SVS gives you an advantage in warfare.
Yes, and I think at one point, even the new states are like thinking. Even our state 359 was like, "Why are we winning prep? What's the point? What's the point?" I think we all talked about that already. Sorry, I had to get back. I had to break the seal. I've been drinking since I got home from work and not breaking the seal. I apologize. So,
and Abdel said he's in 233.
Yeah.
Does that make a difference?
So Abdel, I am Plasma 5. I haven't checked if any Plasma 4s could use it. It was an assumption based off the fact that they also have a cannon. So Plasma 4s and 5s both have cannons on their settlement. But if you are saying that you do not have the button, then it would just be Plasma 5s. You're muted, Finn.
Sorry. I was saying Fifu was saying the same thing. He said our 4-star bases are not able to use the pass
do we have 4 stars? Or I feel like we have 3s and then 5s.
Yeah. We got a bit of a skip there.
Isn't Fifu in yours?
I think they're probably... I think Fifu is in Rod.
Okay.
I think that people are waiting on the event, on like the Halloween event, to finish it off.
Yeah.
You know, to get to 5. I mean, that's
it on the
kind of the best way to do it.
It says it on the plasma defense screen. You need 5-star HQ unlocked.
Yeah, then I guess you need 5-star, and that just goes to show again. I was telling Finn that the quantity of Plasma 5s you will have in your state is very tiny. So there's not going to be a lot of people using pads in general. So the likelihood of you hitting a settlement protected by pads is very small. But you are taking a risk in general, knowing now that is a new concept in the game.
Yeah, because I also feel like you can't recon that. I don't think if you recon someone that is protected, it tells you.
No.
Does it only have like 1 charge though? Like
no, it has 10.
It has 10 charges, but any attack on a settlement that you have a pad on would trigger that?
Yes.
So couldn't you just send like a 1-troop rally just to eat that up potentially? Like, is that like another strategy now where you just send out a bunch of little ones ahead of your main rally just to eat up if there are pads on it?
So again, the charge used is based on the power of the attack. So in the information section of the pad system, it explains that the amount of plasma shots or batteries used in the attack is based on the attack of the rally itself. So if you were to send 1 troop, I actually guarantee you it wouldn't even use a charge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
but again, we'd test that. We'd have to test that.
Yeah, I mean, that would be probably something to test, right? Which is, what is the minimum amount needed in order to trigger one of those? So if you do think it is, right, you might send multiple of whatever those minimums are to eat up those charges, and then you send your big rally if you're really trying to focus on someone. But
it would also just allow someone the chance to just reinforce that much more time to reinforce also. And if you have a mindful alliance. So it could be, typically it's like the jump close, attack your closest, and hope that no one reinforces is probably the best way to do it. But be careful because you can get caught. And when you get caught, it's nasty. I saw a report today. I was like 3 attacks on settlements in Law, and it was 193,000 troops lost in 3 attacks that I was reinforcing from the attacker. So it's it's detrimental when you do it the wrong way. Unless you can just replace those troops, like a drop of a hat, because you just have a ton of money and don't care.
Yeah, and Finn, to build on your thing too, when you were talking about testing what the minimum is, what I like that they did is they did not put in a guide as to what the minimum power levels are to hit the charges. So nobody's able to reference a playbook. You literally have to test it and risk it yourself.
To that, Miss Misfit said they tested it in her other state. I think she's in 200, state 200 something. I'm not sure. I forgot Miss Misfit. I'm sorry. But she said they tested it and it took 50K troops for her cannon to launch.
But what kind of 50K, right? So is it the troop amount?
Is it the troop
BP?
power? Yeah,
exactly.
That's what the question is. Is it the power or the troop amount? Could you send 50K T1s and would it do the same?
Based on the info chart, like when you click the info button in the pads, it specifically states power, like rally power or attack power.
Oh, she said it was 50K plasma, so I don't know.
So if you look at, when you access the pads menu and you go to defend somebody, it'll actually tell you the BP under their name.
Yeah.
When you click.
So it's got to be power based.
BP.
Yeah. Fee said it also depends on the hero power, the march being sent. Not so much the troop amount. That makes sense.
It'll probably be a combination.
Actually. Yeah.
Getting to some threshold and finding that threshold. But it gives at least some idea, right? Whereas 50K plasma plus 3 heroes, I mean, you can probably estimate. I mean, you guys have a better idea of how much plasma is, but I'm guessing that's somewhere around 7-8 million a march. How much is your march with like a 50K plasma? I know plasmas give a huge boost to BP compared to like mine, because I can do full T9s and I'm still around like 5. So I'm just guessing right now where plasma
I'm at like, depending on my troop setup, I'm at like 14.5 to 14.9. I feel.
But that's on a full, right?
Yeah.
So and your max march is somewhere around 200?
150 to 176, roughly.
Okay, so 50K would be roughly about a third or something around there. So yeah, it would be close to around. So possibly a full T9 march. That puts you right around that 5 to 6 million range potentially. So potentially a full T9 might be able to trigger it too. So interesting. Yeah, that'll be interesting just to see how that all plays out. So you could save your plasmas, trigger it with like a T9 or something, which isn't as bad as sending T1s. You probably wouldn't be able to generate enough BP with even a full march. 170,000 T1s. Somehow they'll all still survive. That's just the way the T1s are. And then you can send something else. So
T1s are wounded only.
Yes.
Never die.
Just always. They always survive.
Ziglet, who is one of our RSG skewers, he plays a lot on other games with us. He goes, but McVenom, you are a 5-star. I'm so far from 5-star, it's not even funny. I'm still lowly 1-star, just plasma grinding away. And I'm okay with that. I'm not spending any more money in the game. Very low spender, and just I'm not as active. I just can't be with the work and stuff like that. So I just play for fun, enjoy my friends on 125, and just have a good time at it. It'll probably be years before I get to Plasma 5. Probably. All right. So there's another question, but I want to save that nightmare question for the end because it is a question about Halloween coming up. So we'll save that one till the end. So are we good? Anything else on the updates that we missed that you guys can think of? I think we're good on the update.
Oh, one annoying thing that they need to fix is when I'm trying to give my Alliance members help, it doesn't allow you to click it sometimes. And that's been bothering me. And sometimes I'll have to go to 6 different bases.
Yes!
To help them.
I thought this was just me. I thought, what the hell is wrong with my thumbs? I thought it was me.
No. Yeah, it was like, because sometimes when you 100 tap it, it'll go through. And then the settlement button would become a white box for a while, and they fixed that. But you have to go to multiple people now to get your 6
Agree. Or you might get one that you get a help to, but you can't click the other 2, which annoys the hell out of my OCD, is not doing a complete set for somebody. It is so annoying. I thought that was just me, and that I was just, sometimes you can go out and then go back in and go back out again, and then you can get it, but that is just frustrating. So yes, please, devs, fix that. He's
I
talking
feel
about
so
the
bad.
troop assist.
I
What?
feel so bad. I've had that before where I can't click on the troop assist, but it happens to one base in particular to me every single time. I can't click any of them. Poor Nikki. I go into Nikki's base
Nikki,
because
same
she's
for me. Yes.
I go into Nikki's base to try and assist in
You think it's the-
359. I'll go in there and I cannot, for the life of me, get any of her troop assists to
Do you
work. I
think
have
it's
to leave
something
her
with
base.
the way her things are positioned? Maybe it's
Not
something
really
with some of them
positioned any
positioned
different.
differently.
No, there's other ones that are positioned. Like I think hers are in like the top, like the upper top corner. There's other ones that are set up the same
on that
way, and
wall.
I can do it.
That's what I'm saying. If it's on that top
And
wall,
the
is
other
that
ones
maybe
work.
what's going on with it? Bean
I
said
have
she's
no
got
idea.
one guy she can't help at all anymore. So like it does happen in all of them where there's somebody that you just can't help at all.
Yeah.
It's always the base that's against the wall. It seems that way with me too. That's a
Yeah, but I
frustrating
can't help
thing.
Nikki. I feel so bad. Like every time I see her, because she's right next to me. So her yellow thing is like right above my base. So I'm like, okay, let me go help Nikki. And then I go in and I can't click it. I'm like, I'm in Nikki's base, aren't I? Yeah.
Okay.
I feel so bad.
Nightmare had another question though that I want to ask. Does 125 self-police during events like 359 does? I like that state rules are adhered to by all alliances in our state. Was wondering if that's game wide. That is absolutely not game wide. That is a per state basis. Some states don't have any rules. Some states have policing of some sort for events. 359, it just depends on the player base and who's in the top, because honestly the top people make the rules, and I hate to say that's not the way it should be, but it kind of is. They spend the money, they're the ones who can enforce the rules, so the top alliances usually are the ones who make the rules. And if the tippy top doesn't want any, then you don't have any. If they want them, then they kind of group together some people to make some kind of semblance of policing of the state. 359 has a good medium, I believe. What do you think? Do you guys think so? I think it's pretty good. Like, you can't have more than two bunkers?
Yeah,
You're
you
not allowed.
can have one facility, one bunker.
Got it.
You can get more bunkers only if like it's defaulted where nobody else
you
is
auto-register
competing
and
and
nobody
stuff.
goes and competes for it or something
Exactly.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a few of those. There's also like the
No
the
zeroing
hit
players.
limits.
Yeah, you don't zero players for no reason. Now, if they're a troll or if
You
they're
can
in
do
your
3
hive,
solo.
if they're in your hive, if they're instigating, if there's a legit reason for it, of course. But the state rule is just, let's keep the state healthy and active and fun. And they're really 359 is really big on trying to prepare for SVS. They want to work together, so there's still attacks, but just no zeroing, so that everybody's still ready for SVS. So I kind of like it. Sometimes it's annoying because it's a lot of crying and whining, and I come from 125 where we really don't have any big rules, so it's a little bit annoying.
It's honestly crying and whining from, and I don't know who's out there from 359, but there's been drama lately, but it's literally been around 2 alliances.
Yeah,
one of
troublemaking.
which, and one of which was like 21, wanted to get into the top 20, so they wanted to go hit one of the alliances, which by itself is fine. Like, that seems like a legitimate strategy. Problem is, they rallied on one of these bases, or like they hit one of these bases more times than is allowed, because we allow 1 rally or 3 solo attacks on any given settlement. Otherwise, you're just kind of ruining their ability to play, and they're just not going to want to play anymore. So they went beyond that, and so the higher alliances were like, you're breaking the rules, just stop attacking. And instead of just stopping, they decided to complain, and then decided to attack these higher alliances who are like 1 through 4 ranked with plasma troops, and literally were suiciding troops for like 20 minutes with rallies against these higher guys that just dying, literally just hundreds of thousands and million deaths of troops over 20 minutes. It's just like, why? And they're just complaining in chat. So it was just ridiculous. And then we had an alliance that did so Delete was mentioning this earlier, I think, when we were talking about the bunkers and stuff. We have a rule that for the first occupancy, it's just everyone set a rally, no solo attack, and it's just whoever's the fastest gets in. And it leads to some fun things, right? It allows the lower alliances to compete with the upper alliances to get that first occupancy. So we all do that, but every now and then there's this like one alliance that has now on multiple occasions just went in and solo attacked, took first occupancy, and left, and just bolted. And so now, currently, everyone is trying to burn their entire hive because the alliance, the R5, is basically just like, yeah, I don't care about your rules. And they're like, okay, well, you don't have to follow our rules. We don't have to follow our rules with you. And they're just like burning down everybody in the alliance.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
So it's not really a lot. I mean, it's drama because then they talk a lot in the chat because they're being attacked and all these kind of things. But in all honesty, we don't have a lot of drama in 359. Most of this stuff is either like just personal stuff and that kind of, but it's just two alliances in particular that have had some issues lately, and that's it. So
Bean donated $5 and said, no drama in my settlement, love life, XOXO. I bet you do. your guy's burning down her hive right now, so no drama for you. I'm bubbled right now for the stream, so I can have some no drama and loving my life right now. So
I feel so much warmth and comfort in my bubbles when I have them on.
So Jeremy 123 had a perfect statement. If there's one constant among all states, is this: if you have rules, whiners will whine. If you don't have rules, whiners will whine. So there's no really perfect. There's no perfect system for the state stuff. It's per your state. So if you have a bunch of people that want to play collectively, politically, in a group and build, you have to just judge your character of all of your players and the majority of your players in your state. Every state's different. Like, you have some that are just straight farmers and they love to build and they want to prepare for events and SVS, and that's what they do, and they love their state because of that. And then you have some that are just straight lighting the world on fire and loving it, and that's their state. Great. It's what works for your state, to be honest. So all of them are different, dude. I can't really help you as far as which ones are better, because it depends on your play style. It really does. We have a lot of fun, and
whatever you get forced with.
We have a lot of fun in 125 sometimes, and sometimes we want to quit and hate it. So it kind of goes back and forth. It really does.
Well, 359 loves both of you.
359 is awesome. I actually have a lot of fun in 359 because we have enough drama to where it's entertaining. We still get to attack, but we don't have to worry about people quitting the state because of getting zeroed. Or for somebody going on a rampage because they weren't happy with something somebody said. We don't have to deal with that stuff on 359, but we still all get to fight, and it's fun. So it's up to you what your play style is. Daedric is a burned, let the world burn state, I think, right? Are you guys?
No,
not anymore.
No,
you were at one point. Now you've kind of
joined.
Progressed past that.
No, I got out of the drama alliance. I'm with the Germans now, and
nice.
The only drama we're having is with the Russians, and it's always been the Russians, always.
So your alliance stuff had Germans versus Russians too?
Well,
it's a big theme.
We have Germans, we have Polish, we have North America, we have some. That's actually pretty much the majority is North American, German, and Russian.
Well, So I was just mentioning the stuff that was happening in 359, right? It was just funny because Nikki and Nero were just going on like resource runs, right? And it just happened to be poor timing because there was a whole discussion happening in state chat. And it's just fun to blame it on Nikki and Nero at this point.
Bonnie and Clyde. Everything's fun to blame on Bonnie and Clyde.
Yes. It's just blaming Bonnie and Clyde. So they were out on just like their RSS missions, and one of the guys, I guess, saw Nero port by. So he just posted his coordinates in state chat, just like in the middle of this discussion happening in state chat. Meanwhile, state chat has a big discussion between Russians and Germans because the alliance that I was mentioning that was getting told that they broke the rules and everything and were getting attacked by the higher ones, they're a Russian alliance. So they just started yelling, and then another Russian alliance jumped in, trying to defend the Russians, and then they started bringing up World War II and yelling at like the German people that were trying to defend the fact that they broke the rules. And at the same time they mentioned World War II is when they tagged Nero. So Nikki jumped in. She's like, "What's going on? Wait, I don't understand what's going on. Are they talking about World War II? What did we start World War III?" It was just the most ridiculous state chat ever.
This game can be so much fun sometimes if you just honestly don't take it super serious and just enjoy it. It can be a lot of fun.
But just realize, Nikki started World War III. That's just the way it is. And then I resolved it by talking about bananas and beer.
Or rapping. Finn likes to rap in state chat too. He likes to rap Vanilla Ice.
I did.
You should have went to jalapeno cheese trees. That's always.
So cheese started a war before. We have our first stint with THC a long time ago started over cheese. And while I love cheese and I want a cheese farm, I have to be careful about the cheese. I think they're accepting of it now. I think THC is cool about it now because they named their like R5 position, I think head cheese or something like that. So they're cool about it now. But at the time,
they thought we were making fun of them being the cheese.
They were making fun of them.
Bean said, "Where's Fury?" Bean said, "Where's Fury tonight?" She is. She's running around. Fury's around. She's on 359 with us. I think she's got some real life stuff going on lately, so we haven't seen her in the last couple of days. She's just, everybody gets busy at times. She's actually going to be doing Phasmophobia stream with me and the ladies on Saturday. I'm doing a female Phasmophobia stream, so it's going to be fun. We call it the Haint Hunter, so that should be...
We still have to plan all that out, too.
We're going to plan it. It'll be fine, Finn. We'll plan it all at last minute, just like we do the bunker. It'll be great. Everything will be fine.
Okay, well, let me make sure that everyone knows this is happening. I asked you today. I haven't had a chance to ask.
Question. And I responded to you. I responded.
I know, but I haven't had a chance to ask them to see what time and everything.
It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. Nightmare. Question for Delete. Now that you have a bubble and you're in your safe space, do you feel weak or less like a man?
No,
a real man wears protection.
I was about to say, Delete's pretty darn big for a little man.
There you go, Delete. I'm just telling you right now. That is the way you go. I'm just throwing that out there.
So I literally wear a shield. I pop a bubble because it's literally my out of office. And not for nothing, my entire alliance will pop on. And if they see that I'm bubbled, they better bubble. Yeah. Because there are definitely issues where, hey, listen, alliances are 100 people deep, and not everyone is going to be completely into the game all day, every day. It's just not something that people are going to do, and they shouldn't have to. This is a game. This is meant for like relaxation. This is a stress relief game. You shouldn't have to pay attention to this game 24/7. So like if they see me bubble and they're popping on, they're like, holy shit, Delete's bubbled? Yeah.
Everybody shield.
I better. Yeah, it's an intentional, like, everyone else put their shield on. If he's got it, then there's got to be something else going on.
That's like our sign, the office flip sign, out of office or open or close. Yeah. If that sign is on, no help's coming. You better be careful.
Seriously. Because, you feel bad. Someone comes in, attacks our settlement, and they're just like, all right, you're going to hit people that just, are on the outskirts because they don't really play that often. All right. And it sucks for them, and it kind of forces them to kind of either quit the game or, I don't know, attack everything that they've been saving for an event or something along those lines. And it just is what it is, if I'm on, I protect who I can, and like I said, there was someone that lost 195,000 troops today, and it was just, why? I have no idea, but it is what it is.
So Jeremy had a question. The new hero chick ability references reducing troop speeds. Do you all think or have heard, will there be future interaction in combat with troop speed?
We didn't talk about the new hero that was introduced either.
So this is funny because I actually saw this somewhere in a different conversation. And in a lot of games, troop speed and the battle turn order, so to speak, is very key in the battle mechanics. Like a turn order and then the troop speed or individual hero speed that increases the troop speed is very key in a lot of games. I don't know, Daedric, if it comes into play for some of the other games that you play, like Rise of Kingdoms and stuff like that. But I know for the games that I've played that are war-based games, troop speed means a huge amount. It was like key for everything. So I've always wondered this as well, if troop speed is going to come into play eventually. I know that we had talked about bringing in more battle mechanics that make a difference with with hero dynamics, where you can mix and match a little bit differently with heroes. So this is a good question. I don't know. I don't have an answer for it. Do you guys know what do you think as far as troop speed being introduced in the future?
I feel like, that's a big battle mechanics question, because I feel like with the, like, what do we call them? Alternate Gen 4 or alternate Gen 5 heroes, their skills had been dramatically different from the skills in the past. And I've actually seen some like pretty interesting things about like how to best maneuver or utilize those skills, because you can still exchange, Tyler and that bunch with, Zach and Ernie in that bunch. So you can potentially stack both of those and get a stronger rally. Whether that works or not is still up to, discussion, but it's a smart play because it'll take, a skill that was pretty superior. Like the Zach, Ernie, Jarrett skills were pretty strong, but they were based off of mechanics that weren't able to be altered with anyone else's hero skills. And now the exchange heroes were a little bit easier to understand, and now they're going back to more of a complex, skill strategy, where you're affecting troop speed. Because I don't like to mention this, but when Nemke was on, he was discussing certain battle mechanics that a lot of people weren't privy to and shouldn't be privy to, as terms of service dictate. So
reading code and shit like that is what you mean?
Yeah, exactly. So because there were certain things where there were like turns, and and they started to come out a little bit in the Commentate town, where it was like different buffs there kind of affected different things, and then you can start to see it in like Tyler's, where it's like, oh, every other turn there'll be a little bit more damage in hand, and it's like, well, what the hell does a turn mean? So I feel like troop speed would matter, because if you're slowing down like infantry, and then it brings hunters back into more effect, because if infantry takes longer to technically get to your settlement, if you're thinking like real life infantry walking to your walls, your hunters would have more time to basically take damage or put damage onto them, or riders would have more time to meet them, bringing more basically more of the hero, the different classes of soldiers back into play, because right now the game is extremely infantry heavy, without question. And infantry is probably your most important thing. I've been telling people for a while now, like, if you're going plasma and you've only got enough to do plasma of one thing, go plasma and infantry, because it seems to just be helping people that much more, because it's, I think even on the stream we recommended probably about 60 to 65%, infantry makeup. So if that's that much of your army, that's what you should be focusing on.
Sorry, I had to roll my eyes
as I put the crowd to sleep.
Yeah,
no,
that.
I just had to roll some eyes here.
I have no idea what's going on.
Daedric.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the stream? I mean, not stream. The speed.
What do you think about the barker?
The barker.
Love the stream, Venom. I love the stream.
The speed, not stream. The speed thing. Jesus.
Well, it makes me wonder. So Lilith Games with ROK did free range march since day one. So what you can do in that game, again, the concept, state of survival, very similar mechanics and platform, but in ROK you can actually control your march, where it goes and when. So you can actually click on a march and move it around the map. You can have it outpost itself, like the marches themselves can be interacted with, and they can sit on the map, and you can have them. It's basically a click and drag concept. So speed in that regard is very important. How it works with this mechanic, like that's where it's really tricky, and I'm on the same page as you. I can't really answer it or provide any feedback, because we don't even see how it takes effect now. The only thing I see right now is your level of research, because your research tree determines how fast your marches are. So I had a case today, just as an example. I was sitting at a bunker at the same distance as my opponent, but my march was 6 seconds faster than his, because my research and my war talents were invested in the proper locations compared to his. So right now, that's where I see speed having the only effect in the game. Now, in terms of speed having an effect in an algorithm, I'm question marks.
Yeah, we don't even know what the battle mechanics are. We really don't know any algorithms for any of the battle mechanics.
We don't even know how the mechanics work now.
Yeah.
Right? So that's, again, devs watching, that's where we need a playbook and a consistent playbook for the whole game, old states and new, as to how the basics work. Again, we don't need to know what the code is. Like, that's not the point. The point is if I'm doing a turn-based battle, and because we have the ability to click battle report, like we can see the basics and how that matchup goes back and forth, and it's the same for showdown. But we need to actually understand, troop compositions, how a certain siege hero is affected by a patrol hero, and things of that nature. Because then when they introduce this speed concept, there's then an understanding for all players on a consistent basis how that actually works. But again, it's just question marks right now, in my opinion.
Agree. Like, we don't know the battle mechanics right now, much less if speed comes into play at all, and what it would change if they do come into play, or if it does come into play eventually, because we don't know what it is now. So, and I think the devs do know that that's a concern. And we'll talk about this later, but there is some discussions going on with the devs and some, content creators and some other special discords. And I know that they understand that is a severe need for us to know what's going on with the battle mechanics, and they're trying to address it. And we'll talk a little bit about that later, along with the state merge gossip and stuff. But first, I wanted to really quickly go into this hero. Yay or nay? Thumbs up or thumbs down? What do we think about this new hero? Have you guys got a chance to really look at her?
No.
I think she's similar to, honestly, like Basil. Obviously, I'm not really focused on trying to level Basil up at all. Won't even try. I don't think that Kang, maybe somebody can change my mind about her, but like, as far as useful, she's great for new states when I can throw her into the Hero Academy and use her in certain things. But like, as far as a meta thing, I don't see her being very useful for any battles, like SVS. I mean, PvP battles. What do you guys think?
If you're not gold, I mean, you're not cracking my useful lineup unless I'm sending out like intel marches, which I could just kind of like care less. I love, it's auto pick, go out, it's as quickly as I can do them. I mean, that's kind of that. Well, I do use Mike and Explorer.
Yeah. No.
And he's gathering, but I mean, if he's gathering, you can still use him in Explorer, so that doesn't really matter much at all. But he's strong as shit in Explorer.
The thing that kind of confused me, and maybe you guys can clarify this for me, was troop damage will be inflicted on all enemies following every 5 attacks. And this is in military. So that indicates there's a turn order, correct? Is that what they're saying, is that...
That's probably how they determine their combat damage.
Yeah, but
right?
it doesn't give like a percentage of how much troop damage will be inflicted on every 5 attacks. Or like, is it crit damage? You know how some of the other ones will say crit damage, chance, and things like that. So that's what I'm like. It's just it doesn't do troop damage unless it's every 5 attacks, or is it extra troop damage every 5 attacks? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. The wording of this kind of bothered me.
I feel like if they were going to lay this game out, it would be like a Swaga. You know how you put like, you've got your 5 heroes, and then it's like, all right, you're putting this one to attack this person and this one to attack this person. And it kind of like every 5th turn this person takes is strong, and it all kind of condenses that super rapidly, and then it happens instantaneously, which is kind of crazy because, the reports kind of get sent out, and when 2 armies meet, you've got all this stuff going on. You've got settlement animations, you've got march animations, you've got all of these animations going on, plus everyone doing all these activities, and then instantaneously the game figures out this algorithm to figure out like who's going to win based on everything that's involved. And that's just insane, being that the game used to crash, when you were trying to look at who was in a base, before light mode. And now it's like the instantaneous action of who wins and who loses is pretty crazy.
Doesn't she look? I feel like they just took Candy and reworked her. Like, look, it's like the same outfit and just a different hairstyle. Like short crop top, short skirt, knee-high socks, and tennis shoes. Like,
it's her doppelganger.
Yeah. Oh, well, let's just stick a bow and arrow on this one and make her different. Like, come on, guys.
Miho's younger sister.
Yeah. Like, number one, can we get, like, a Michonne? Can we get somebody with a katana sword on here? Like, that would be cool.
Mm.
Oh, quick note before I forget, and this is a total random interjection, but still important for the devs to take note.
Yeah.
So I did message my VIP handler about this, and if any of you are experiencing the same thing. So I've got the 3 items I have sitting in my backpack, and normally the devs in game auto recycles them and gives resources. I'm still sitting on birthday hats, anniversary. I'm still sitting on the Gigacorp Access ID cards.
Still got birthday hats.
And I'm still sitting on Ghost's graffiti pieces for the graffiti event. So just a note to the devs, and I did message my VIP handler, but we need an update to auto recycle those event items because that's like months ago now.
Agree. That needs something. I think maybe there's like a reset to like recycle those at some point because at one time we were getting recycled.
Yeah.
But it hasn't happened in quite a while, so I don't know if there's a cadence for that and we just are right up to the close end of it or if they just have forgotten because so many other things have happened. I don't know, but yeah, agreed.
Oh, one thing that actually was really pissing me off, actually I'm saying that a lot. One of the things that was pissing me off is the fact that temporary skins. I've got temporary skins in my backpack that I can no longer use because I have the permanent version of that skin. So I used to be able to turn the non-permanent on to go ahead and give me like a couple extra %. And I've got 9 non-permanent, skins that I got a big battle coming up. Let me go ahead and turn 2 on, 3 on, for 7 days, a month, whatever the case may be. And now those are completely useless. I cannot use them because I have the permanent
same
version.
type of the permanent version? Can you use them first and then switch on to the permanent and get the bonus?
That would have been nice to know before they made it unpermanent. Before they made it this way. I don't know when it happened, because I feel like a month ago I was still able to use a non-permanent version and to go ahead and boost it a little bit, and then it just went to not happening. My neighbor just sent the alert on their car from inside their house.
Beep.
I feel like that's gonna happen in a while.
So
okay, hold on.
Stop it, Finn.
That's gonna be driving me crazy.
I will choke you through this. Stop it. Stop. Jeremy123 has a question. Did you all discuss the glitch after SVS with 0 of 10 healing vouchers showing even though you used 10 and the customer service response? Response was 1 hour healing speed ups and 100 biocaps and a couple maps, but rewards for 10 and 10 was 20 total hours and 500 bios.
No.
I didn't even see anything about that. I'm so
no, I feel like that wasn't a glitch for us.
Did you guys get the yeah, I think we got all our vouchers. All of our vouchers went through. You mean like the healing tickets afterwards? Is that what he's talking about?
That's a stinger because that was, I didn't lose that many troops. I think I lost. We were battling a beast. This guy named Hulk. He was huge.
Oh my gosh, he's awesome.
Hulk
and
smash.
he quit. He quit the game right after our SDS.
He spent more than anyone else.
Drake?
He spent more than anyone else that I've heard, apparently.
What'd you say?
You were laughing.
I didn't hear. No, I was laughing just because it was funny. Like, Delete's like, yeah, this guy's the Hulk. He was such a beast. I'm like, yeah, well, the Hulk is a beast.
He was a beast.
And then he smashed, and then he walked
name.
away. And as he walked away, you know what music played?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me
It was awesome.
me and him. I have I have a just tremendous mutual respect for this guy because we were going at it,
Yeah.
and it was just like, okay, we figured it out. We were going at each other, and then I was on a pretty good win streak against him, and
he
it
was
like
just
SBS
cool.
was
He
over,
was
but
just
it was
he was
just
a
cool about it.
guy.
Yeah,
He was
completely.
a cool guy. You
the
could
guy
like
played the
battle him
game
and
to play.
fight with him, and he was just like so, just chill. Like he wasn't like all ragey and ranty or anything like that. He was just a cool guy. He took your troops and you were fine with it. You were like, oh, well, you're cool. Yeah. It's okay.
Has he heard of 359? Just gonna throw that out.
I don't know. I reached out to him like, hey, dude, come on the stream. You're so chill. It's
Come to 359. It's fun
See
here.
if you want to play on another server or something, you know.
Yeah. If you're watching, man, come on through.
Come on to the burger. You like you enjoy the burger. Anywho, okay. So we went through all of this stuff.
Well,
we went through.
Really quick, I have a question for you guys.
Yes.
The hero, Kang, right?
Yes.
So her thing with all the troops and everything, my first thought was she could really up the damage of all of your DPS troops, right? Because all three of her abilities are increasing just straight up troop damage, right? So my first thought when I looked at her was potentially being for trap. So I was wondering what you guys thought about Kang potentially being a trap hero, maybe not to the level of a gold, right? But again, looking at it from a free-to-play perspective here, depending on how easily you can get her. Right now it looks like it's maybe just the maps, so it's not going to be an easy farm for her. But once you unlock her, I mean, I'm periodically getting a whole bunch of those general purple, the epic frags. So getting her higher may not be an issue if I'm focused on her. But just looking at her skills seem like they may be a little bit better than like Sarge or Eva for a trap lead, for a joiner. That was my first thought when I saw her compared to like even Basil. Like Basil didn't seem quite like that. So I wanted to get your thoughts on what you thought, just free to play wise, because she's not going to compare to a gold. It's just not going to happen. But
comparison to like Sarge for a troop lead, for Sarge a trap or Eva.
Lead? Yeah. Sarge versus Eva versus Kang. Kang's abilities look like they're potentially better just overall because all of her skills just increase troop damage so much that it seems like she might be a better leader for a joiner if you're free to play, especially lower, right? Again, the legendaries are going to overtake it and you're going to work on those and you're not going to worry, but that's what I was kind of thinking. But I didn't know what you guys thought just looking at her.
I would agree. If you have the blank frags to get her up quick, I always feel like the newer heroes, if you can progress them super fast, like if you hoarded all your general frags, like right now, because of my VIP, I think I have like over 600 gold frags, right? So as soon as like a new hero comes out, it's immediately, okay, boom, done. I've got someone to 70. And immediately they pretty much every time that's happened, the new person is almost always cracked the lineup. The same thing is going to go with an epic hero, without question. For the people that already have Sarge and are maxed, and you're kind of coming in and don't have Sarge maxed, you should cascade your captain heroes, accordingly. So if you miss the boat on Sarge, continue on. And so on and so forth until you can get someone that's actually, that you can progress really far, is probably the way that I would play it as far as that goes.
But see, Finn's maxed on Sarge, right?
Not by level though. He's level 70, so I still have to get him to 80. But otherwise,
you're close. I mean, you're max on skills.
He's general and max on skills. Yes.
So, I mean, that would be good to test because I don't know. Like I was thinking initially, but I wasn't thinking for trap, to be honest. And it would be great to have another trap hero because for so long we've only had joiners. I mean, we've had a mix-up of trap joiners that were good. So, I mean, Chef's thrown in there now. And, there's some others. But it's always been Sarge, or Eva. So it would be good to have another dynamic that would mix up some of the rally leaders' damage. So I don't know.
The issue is that she's a rider hero, so like you should really have a hunter hero as your trap person because hunters do more damage in trap than riders, so it's a tough stretch, Her other aspect is she's an infected. So, potentially there might be something to kind of put her on the wall with Nicola in Horde. That might be a strong combination. Might give you an extra level on your Horde burn session. So that could be a value, because when you look at it, and because she does the infected buff, you could actually do something pretty strong there. If you're going to go on and like switch everything up, because there are times that like during Horde, I'll put, Nicola on my wall just because, just he doesn't do anything else. I figure you might as well get him out of the bar, just put him up on the wall for a little while. Exactly. So, I mean,
Jeremy said that she's best hero to come out that is free and arguably the whole game. You want her not even on trap then.
She looks legitimately like your typical glass cannon, right? And that's what I saw, which is basically like you sacrifice all the defensive parts for just pure damage. Like every skill of her is just pure damage, right? So for PvP, like you were talking about before, yeah, no way. PvP is the balance. You have to make sure your infantry's right.
She would be crappy as a PvP. I think.
No. Yeah, I don't think that skirt's going to do very well in combat. But in PvE stuff, you can see it a little bit more, where it's just like if you just need to just do a whole bunch of damage, you're not worried about just like the survival part of it, right? And I think like Delete was saying, like the Horde was another part of it, like throwing her on the wall. Does that help? And how much would she compare to like Maddie, who's what she would replace for me, which is probably the typical like Travis probably if you just have him, but otherwise it's going to be Maddie that's going to be your rider hero. AKA the Stabby. I'm not stopping calling it Stabby. I'm just throwing that out there. But so the Kang being that could be interesting. She is your like the only one I've seen, like Basil, for example, right? Basil has cool abilities, but his first one is a control ability, right, with the concussion grenade. His middle ability is damage, and his other one is defense based. So he's trying to balance out. He's trying to do too many things. And this game really is about trying to find the heroes that are specialized in particular things, which is why I saw Kang. And I'm like, this is actually a fairly decent one, like fairly decent purple hero. It's just I haven't unlocked her yet because I still need to find her in like the maps and everything. But I was kind of curious what everyone thought. In PvP, no. PvE stuff, it seems like she has some potential.
I do like now that when you click on the skill, it shows you the military and the explorer at the same time. I suppose they're having to like switch back and forth. That's nice.
Wait,
that's
what?
An optimization. That it's actually an optimization.
What are you
when you
talking
click
about?
on like their skills. So like if you go and you click on the hero, right, and then you click on the skill,
you can scroll up and down and see the
the
exploration.
little box that comes up.
Yeah. That wasn't there before. That's been there since
Exactly.
I started. I
That
think.
never used to be. Oh yeah, it was not there before.
Oh.
It used to be where you kind of clicked on it and it would give you one, and then you'd kind of have to go in and be like, oh, okay, all right. You'd have to go into the side scroll of the main box to see the explorer and the military,
Interesting.
and be like, oh, because then they're completely different. But yeah, at least now it kind of gives you the rundown, the rough percentages, and then when you go into it, it tells you exactly what the damage is. When you click into the main bar, but the highlights really all you need to kind of figure out, a basis of like, oh, is this person okay?
Yeah. So that was just my kind of 2 cents on Kang.
Now we sub said, "You're awesome, guys. Thanks for the live discussion. You're totally welcome, dude. We appreciate you dropping in."
Pro show.
Yeah, I wanted to get to. We're at 10:30 already. Jeez. I wanted to get to the merge discussion and the bomb that was dropped in Discord yesterday. So, as you guys know, there was something that was leaked out, and I'm gonna go ahead and let full disclosure because I have permission to do that. I am in a server that was created for content creators and a few others for discussion with the dev team back and forth, or a liaison with the dev team to get more information, because we're very frustrated as content creators that we can't give you like we were talking about last stream about how we cannot give you guys algorithms for battle mechanics. We can't do any of that stuff because we don't know. And it's very frustrating to try to make content to give you instructional videos or instructions when we don't even know what the basic battle mechanics are. So they did make this server, and for the longest time, it's been around for just, a couple weeks now. It's been actually maybe even longer than that, but we weren't getting a lot of feedback for our questions. We were submitting questions and we were submitting, all of these discussion issues to them and not getting any response. And that was frustrating. Well, yesterday, for the first time, we actually got some feedback on a question. The first time that we had actually got legit, answer to that, but saying, this is for your eyes only. We're still discussing this. We don't know really how to broach the topic because we're still debating whether or not it's even an option. And if it is an option, how are we going to do it? So we don't want to put it out to the public right now because we don't have the information that they're going to ask or the follow-up questions that they're going to ask. We just want you guys to know that we are discussing this. And that was screenshotted and put out on a server. Number one, shame on you. Number two, shame on you. That was ridiculous. So it ruined all of the information flow that we have now coming in. So, of course, any dev now looking at this is going, well, don't tell them anything because they can't respect, these agreements that we make to keep things quiet until the devs are ready and appropriately equipped to answer the questions that are out there. They really honestly just told us so that we could give you guys hope that something is coming, that we could continue to say, you know what, we're still hopeful for a reason. We can't tell you why, but we are hopeful that they're discussing this and that there might be some options on the table. But now that that pathway for discussion is shut down because of people not being able to just be adults. And I am so thoroughly upset about it. I can't even tell you how upset I am because the bunker especially has been trying so hard to create a back and flow discussion with the developers about things like this so that we can be hopeful and not just say, forget it, I quit. And then the first chance that we get to actually do that we're actually getting some headway on it, somebody can't stand to not be a part of the team. They want to be the person to go to for information, and they just got to get it out there without any idea of the consequences they're bringing. You can ask these guys, I was so livid. I was so upset about it. And it's really a shame because we were really getting some good information about it. And you might have seen it go out into the State of Survival Discord and another Discord server. And I think Saberlot did address it. The merger, it was about the merger talks. And I agree. You got to expect people to leak stuff, sadly, unless you have an NDA. But to be honest, somebody that's going to leak information like that, regardless of whether they have an NDA, they're going to do it anyway. So, you can't really just depend on an NDA for somebody not to be a jerk. They're going to be a jerk if they want to be a jerk. So I'm really upset about it, and they know who they were. They know it was wrong. It was a douchebag move because it just shut down any possible future flow of information that we could have gotten. So I'm really upset about that. The other thing that is upsetting is that because that got out there, of course, Saberlot and a lot of the others were forced to address it. They were forced to address it. And when they're forced to address these things, it puts them in a really difficult position, and then they don't want to put any information out there because of the backlash and then the backtracking that they'll have to do afterwards. So even if it wasn't for us, even now for the community, information won't be coming out as freely. So it's just, it was just a bad deal altogether. Regardless of whether you feel that person individually feels like the means justified the ends, or the means justified the ends, it didn't. Because you think you won, but honestly, you just kind of screwed us all over. And that's my 2 cents in the whole thing. Now, to get to the information and the response that Saberlot gave, and we can discuss that. I just wanted to put my 2 cents out there because I was so mad. And if I was a little bit drunker, I'd probably tell you exactly how mad I was, but I was really upset.
Drink.
No, I can't. So the question was, is there any way possible to get state mergers? And I was actually on the server when that question and that screenshot was thrown up. But is there any way possible to get state mergers? We want to be able to show off new content. And this was in our server. And somebody screenshotted it and shared it out. So it was, currently we have no plan. And I'm saying this because it was shared on the SOS state server everywhere. And they were saying that currently they had no plan for state merge, that they needed to evaluate the risk of a merge, like the whole whale players are able to ruin more states and attack people and create more of an imbalance. You know, these are the things that they're worried about, the huge imbalance that could create, and also just the mechanics of it. So they're still trying to figure that stuff out, and they wanted to talk to players to kind of try to help figure that stuff out. But again, now we have this whole problem of who can you really talk to? If you can't talk to the trusted people that you have created a server with as content creators, then who are you going to trust? You can't trust just regular players that might share it anywhere. So they have a conundrum now. So that was the deal. And then they had talked about later that they were going to put out a poll in the next few days in the game to determine what might be the best way to do that for players. They're going to try to put a poll out and ask you guys what you think. Not saying that that's going to create a state merger. That's not saying that they're going to immediately start working on it. They're just trying to get your information out, or get the information in so that they can make a decision on what they're going to do. So that's where that all started and where it ended. As far as my knowledge goes from it, I know what you know. And if I knew more that wasn't allowed to be said, I wouldn't say it. But I am hopeful. I can tell you that. I'm very hopeful that the devs are working on it. They're hearing us when we say that we want state merge or we want some form of state merge. But I am glad that they're not just throwing another thing out there that is broken. And that's a big discussion going on, is like they've thrown things out in the past that just did not work. And I am hopeful that they are listening and they're trying to figure out what the complications could be and what the impact to the game, and would it break the game and the balance of the game. So I'm hopeful that they're discussing that and they're working on it, and that it might be something in the future. So I've talked enough right now. Guys, what do you think? Daedric, what did you think about the whole thing? What do you feel about what they response?
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you, and obviously not mentioning names, everyone in this stream knows, or everyone on this panel knows exactly who it was, and just on the basis of that, if they're watching, they know who they are. It's we work hard on this panel and in this stream to discuss the game, and this stream has actually brought a lot of change to the game. We've seen decisions made on the basis of what we've discussed, and suggestions that has been brought forward by not just this panel, but you awesome people participating in the chat right now on the stream, right, have helped this growth. So, that all gets ruined and stomped out when you have children running around deciding to share things that shouldn't be shared. I'll mention to King's Group again, the devs watching. I highly recommend, please, that one of you, as I've mentioned in a stream before, create an account on ROK, because they've done immigration. Like they've taken the concept of immigration, and keep in mind, so I've been playing that game for 2 years. Keep in mind that the game didn't have immigration until about 8 months ago. So they started off with individual kingdoms, and that's where you were stuck, and they built in this whole concept of immigration, and they have a whole guideline on how it works, and if you have to pay a certain amount. So it's a concept that can be replicated. So again, I highly encourage that someone on the dev team creates an account if they haven't already. I'm also happy to provide information, so if they're not wanting to do that, I'm more than happy to pass that along. It is doable, and I understand Saberlot's concern with it complicating the game, because he is absolutely right. It's a huge installation, huge. He's absolutely right when he says it can make or break the game. It can really complicate what's already in it and how the game operates. So I respect that. I respect the fact that they need time if this is something that's going to be done. What I would appreciate, again, as we've discussed before, is an approximation of, yes, we're working on it, and this is approximately how long it will take. And please don't quote us on this time.
Yeah.
Right?
That's fine. Yeah, we don't have a, yeah.
If we can at least get that, and it's not a commitment either, right? This is just King's Group saying, we've heard you, we're discussing it, we're working on it. That doesn't mean something's going to come of it, but we're working on it, and we're investigating ways to make this happen. This is approximately how long it will take, or when you could see it if we release it. And again, to your point, if they're releasing a survey, then great. That's clearly a way that they're getting feedback. It's just that part of communication. And again, Venom, as you mentioned, the struggle with that is you had a situation where, the devs have put their turtle shell back on because we've had individuals who've released information they shouldn't have, right? So devs, message to the devs, I appreciate what you guys are doing. Please do not take what happened, the scenario Venom mentioned, as a disrespect from everybody. That was a select group of people. You have a stream here at the bunker right now, and a panel here, and a viewership here that is committed to being discreet and supporting you. So I'm behind Venom 100% and whatever's needed to move anything forward. So, I'm wanting to see success come of this game on an even greater level. So,
I want to point out too that I actually appreciated the way Saberlight handled that. Sometimes you don't see devs really handle it very well when things are not devs, but devs representatives or community managers or community relations managers handle things very well. And I think he did handle it. He didn't try to backtrack or say, oh no, that was a leak. Nobody's, that's not there. You didn't see this. He actually just addressed it head on. Yes, that was said. Here's what the response is. And here's what my clarification is in a, if I have to speak to the masses now, which I did not know I was going to be doing, which I thought he handled it very well. So I wanted to give kudos to him for the way he handled that. But I agree what you said. Just acknowledge that you're working on it is a huge thing. I think Bean or somebody else said it in there, just so long as they take it serious and work on it, people will stay for a while. But if it doesn't happen soon, they will lose a lot more. So people are willing to hang on and wait for a little while if they know that you're working on it. The same thing with SVS. People were willing to quit. They didn't want this. They wanted SVS for the other states that hadn't gotten it. And when they put out a notice that said it was going to be coming soon or whatever, it was kind of okay, we'll hold on for a little bit longer kind of thing. I think the same thing would go for this if we know that you're working on it. And he did say that they're thinking about it and they're putting out a poll to get feedback. So hopefully that's coming in. But I wanted to go ahead.
Sorry, just a quick note on top of that to, again, the devs watching and Saber and team. A lot of people have mentioned this. So King's Group has had several games they've made over the years. But what people have been saying is State of Survival is the game that they've put the majority of their energy into. Out of all the games they've built, SOS is the one that we've seen the most creativity, the most content, the most attention, and the most community involvement to the degree that we've seen. So that should be a message for them that this is the game so far, that if they're going to put time and money into, it's going to be this one right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And we're in the middle of a pandemic. So, that's the other side of it. We're in the middle of the pandemic. Take advantage of the time people have now. COVID's not going away anytime soon. We're going to be seeing this for at least another year, restrictions in place, whatever those look like. People will have nothing but time. So if you have an app game, now is the time to blow it up and content, and just make it happen, right? So again, they have an opportunity to take advantage of the time people have.
Agree. Jeremy123 said, well, they say they don't want to talk to us, though. They created this atmosphere where people feel they have to screenshot that stuff because they don't tell old state players whose lines their pockets, anything. They ignore them. So even though it was a debag move, I don't give the devs any slack. I would agree with that if that was a regular server. However, this was a server with professionals who are content creators, and they are King's Group ambassadors. They sign contracts saying that I am an ambassador with respect. I have a mutual respect with the people that I have signed this contract with. And if you are in that position, if you can't be an adult and respect that contract that you sign, I don't have any use for anything else that you have to say, because that is a basic, just trust and respect is a big thing for me. So, yes, I understand what you're saying as far as like, because the information is not going out, they feel like they need to get to their fans their information any way they can by screenshotting messages. That's not the way, because that might fix your issue for that moment, but you have just essentially ruined any forward progression from that point. You've broken down that trust and respect that you had, and you won't get any back and forth after that. So
it doesn't even have to be a contract, right?
No,
Let's be honest.
Just be a verbal
the devs
agreement
are
not
working
to
on
do
things
this.
that people are not aware of, right? They are keeping things, they are working on things to try and better the game, but they're not telling the players until they are ready, right? So what we as players want is a little bit of foresight into what is going to come, right? We want some kind of inkling. Are they thinking about state mergers? Are they thinking about state migrations? Are they thinking about a new event format, right? Are they going to give us more details about battle mechanics? All these things that we've talked about on this stream are things that we want them to tell us. What is the one reason why they wouldn't tell us even that they're working on it? Because it's just going to go out to everybody. Like, they can't even trust a group of people in order to get some feedback on it to see if they're going in the right direction. They feel like they have to go immediately to the conclusion, and they can't bring us along the path because people jump to conclusions and don't handle it properly. So the way to do is to find a small group of people, try to trust in them, get the feedback, build it up correctly, get the solution that works for everyone. It's not going to be 100%, but as many people as possible, and then release it. But if you go that route, right, let's say their fear, which is in most cases their biggest fear, which is that secrets of their game get out early, right? If they get a trusted group of people who they think are trusted, and then one of them reveals it, it just proves the point about why they weren't communicating in the first place.
Exactly.
They're just going to wait until they know what the conclusion is.
Because
so it actually set us back months from what we've been doing on the stream.
Because what they're communicating is getting taken out of context, screenshotted, and said, see, they're not doing what they said they were going to do, blah, 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 when that was not the context of the conversation at all. That's exactly right, Finn. You've just destroyed everything we've been trying to do and asking them to do, because when they do it, over. It's so annoying to me. I understand it. Even some of them might not even had contracts. I'm pretty sure everybody in that room did. But even if they didn't, like Finn said, it doesn't matter. There was a verbal agreement, and it was clearly stated, for your eyes only, we are working on this. Please don't give this information out until we are ready to discuss it. So that in itself should have been enough. That should have been enough. Yeah. You're an adult. You're an adult that has a responsibility to the group that you are in, to your co-workers, to be honest, and to your fan base and your community, to be respectful for the information that you're putting out there. So it's just...
It's brutal.
It's brutal. Because, we've spent a lot of time trying to even get a dev on the show, a dev to do anything. It's rare that you have a chance to actually speak to someone that could make a decision that could go either your way or another. And you take that chance that was given to you and you burn it. It's supposed to try to change the machine from the inside. You now got kicked out where you can't actually change anything anymore. You finally have someone that's saying hey, you know what? Let me help you up. And you step on them. That it just doesn't make any sense. Whatever. And if this was if you were in a war room and it was hey, you know what, New York is about to get bombed, and it's wow, you just told everyone New York they were about to get bombed, and it's so early in the fact that it might not actually happen. You just caused more people to die because you said that information than if you would have just stayed quiet. You know, it like you had no idea what the outcome was going to be, but instead you took a tattletale kind of like response to it. Like, wow, I'm done with this game anyway.
Well,
You know, like we do this stream because we play the game and we want people to continue to play the game. We're not working to go ahead and get more people to play this game because it sucks. You know, that's not what we're here for. We're here to actually try and make this game better for you and better for us at the same time. And we were working really hard at getting a seat at this table, and it just blew up. It was like all hopes and dreams were just crushed,
I
and it
mean,
just doesn't make any sense on any level. You know, like it's supposed to being like you got a seat at that table. All right, let's talk about why you don't want to go ahead and make this happen.
yeah.
Let's go ahead and progress this further. Now it's wow, this is why we don't talk to people that play the game,
Well,
and that's changed the dynamic tremendously. And then they went back on it. Unfortunately, they kind of went back on it and said, you know what, we'll look into this. You know, and that's
yeah.
kind of the shame because eventually, you know, you're going to play that card so many times before they're just going to be like, fuck that. You know, we're not going to go ahead and listen to you anymore. You know, like you want to cry? Okay, don't play. You know, is that really the scenario that you want to get in? You know, you don't, because then if you're worried about losing your investment, you're guaranteed to lose it that way. You're guaranteed.
Well, to be
That's my whole point.
to the bright side is as Delete was just saying, we do the bunker does it. The Burker does it a little differently.
The Barker.
There is a lot of inside information that we know. We have known a lot of things before it became public, and the reason why we don't put things out there is because it's not always 100% confirmed. And I am not going to be the one that says, "Oh, I'm the first one to tell you this, so here," and throw it at you just so I can be the first one to break news that might not be legit, might be sensationalizing something that doesn't need to be out there yet. That's not going to be the bunker. We're not going to do that stuff. We're going to give you solid information that we know for a fact has happened. That's just the way it's going to be. So if that's what happened, is somebody just want to be the first one to tell everybody, I've got to be the first one to tell everybody, even though it's not the appropriate thing to do right then. So I can tell you one thing, we might not have
You know what that's
always
called?
What?
You know what that's called?
Awful?
That's called being selfish.
That's just called being selfish. But that's not going to
exactly
be
what
us.
it is.
I can tell you without a doubt, we might be accused of many things, but we will never do anything for sensationalism to be the first one to give it to you and give you that information. We will never be the first ones to be out there being like, "Oh, we're special because we know stuff." We know a lot of shit. I'm going to tell you right now that you guys don't know, but we're not going to be throwing it at everybody just so that they will come and want us. We want you to hang out with us because you like us and you like the information that we're giving you and you like the discussion. That's what we want. We don't want sensationalism here. We want just real legit community talk because we're fun and we love you guys. That's what it is. So the good news is, though, I think that the bunker has enough respect from the people that we have been involved with that we still will hopefully have some back and forth discourse, that we still will be in the flow of conversation. Even though this happened, I don't think that we are cut off. I think that it just took that whole room and made that less of a discourse room that we could have open ideas and discussion back and forth with the devs. It has kind of minimized that quite a bit, but I still think that we have that back and flow information from us, this group. So I'm very hopeful about that. Aeth, my handler, he's the best. We love him. Speaking of, we're going to go ahead and let the new code out.
I'll say two really quick with while like Venom's getting to, or you can announce your
code 2 is the handler, guys.
There you go.
And the handler, if you guys don't know, the handler, that's what I affectionately call Aeth, who is the guy who handles my contract, handles all of the promotion for me, handles everything for
It's
Kings
awesome.
Group as a Kings Group ambassador. He is fantastic. I love him. He works really hard to get correct information to me, to get things that I need for the stream out there, to get the codes for us. He really honestly does a good job, and he actually helped organize some of these content creators' Discord servers and things like that. So he worked really hard at it. So I know that this kind of didn't work out the way you intended it to, Eth, but we appreciate, as the bunker and the community really appreciates all the hard work that you put into this. You're an awesome guy, and keep up the hard work, because hopefully it's making a difference. So thank you for that.
The Handler's a great name. It's very like Color of Money or like Ocean's
Jason
11.
Statham.
It's like the wolf from Pulp Fiction or something, like the cleaner or the wolf. Like
I feel like that's definitely like a Clive Owen movie coming out, or something really random like that just coming out, like a movie. Oh wow, it's the Handler. Well, I wonder what's going on there.
I wanted to mention with something that Jeremy was saying
when they reopen.
I wanted to say something with what Jeremy was saying too. Jeremy, you aren't wrong in what you are saying, right? Which is that I know you were initially saying like you're not cutting the devs any slack, but what you said later is actually true, which is that there's players that have paid a lot of money, right? And to some extent, being the consumer, they do feel like they should get some more communication. Their money should be going a little bit further and getting some more information. So I am 100% agreement with you. This is, however, not a situation that's new to any game. We've seen that in other games as well, including the one that RSG primarily started covering, which is Galaxy of Heroes, where you can have players paying thousands of dollars into a game. But what they initially capitalize on in these games is what we'll call the surprise releases, right? Which is the inability to plan that forces you to spend in order to get it. Because the more time you know about something, the more you can plan, save up resources, and then you may not spend as much. As the game progresses and they gain more popularity, they can then consider shifting away from that, right? They can start considering giving more information so that little things can be leaked maybe a little bit early. They have the foundation, they have the core group, the game is established. They've already determined that there is a steady income, because don't forget, most mobile games don't really last more than like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Right?
2 years is like a max level of a mobile game, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this game is pretty much like right around the time where other games would peak. So where it goes from now is going to be extremely critical for them. So they are trying to work on the game, and now is exactly the time that developers will try to bring in other people, right? So yes, you are 100% correct that the players that have been paying money do always believe, and as players we always do this, believe that we should have more information. That is a general player mindset. We want more, and we want more. And when we get more, we want some more. That's the general player mentality. And if you pay, you also have more incentive to get more because you're also funding the game. But the devs also are trying to make sure that this game has a foundation that allows it to grow. And they are at a point now where they have that. And the first time they introduce the ability to try and get some communication out to the public, it gets leaked. Right?
I mean,
that's a problem.
To that point, though, I mean, if I've been buying Apple, which I don't, but like when Apple switched from like the 12-pin, like charger to like the like new pin, to the lightning cable, everyone was like, "What the fuck? I just bought 16 of the 12 pins so I can charge everywhere, and now I don't. But I've been buying Apple for years, so I should have more information than everyone else." That's like no company operates like that. To expect that from a mobile gaming company is unfair. It's completely unfair. Because you've been buying something for such a long period of time doesn't entitle you to more. It should, sure. If you were buying stock, it would, but you're not buying stock when you're playing a game. You're improving your own character. You are improving
You're buying
your
virtual
own
goods.
stance
You're buying virtual goods
in a game.
Yeah.
Completely. You're not buying stock in a company where you have a bigger board seat by how much money you spend. Like the fact that they would even listen to you as far as what's going on, would be a different story. But that's an unfair stance to take.
I can guarantee you that we're going to get this will probably be one of the first streams that we get a little bit of backlash and hate from, about us being, dev supporters or apologists for
Pro
the devs
game.
And stuff, pro game and
pro
money thing.
Though.
But no,
I've
that's
never
what
been
I was
accused
about
of
to
that.
say. We are realistic with a business model. Like, there's difference between somebody that's just ranting to get you on their side because they want to say this is effed up and blah 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 blah, you should be so mad. and opposed to somebody that's saying, you know, I agree, I 100% understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, you have to look at it from a business standpoint and a realistic business model and how it would function for them. If you want to get any back and forth discourse going, you have to understand that side. You have to understand both sides of it. And just like, it's crazy to me that some people don't see that. And I want to point out that I didn't name any names, but I think we know, but I don't think it was just one person. I think it was a couple people in that server that kind of contributed to this. So, not singling out one person. There's a few. It was just an all-around terrible thing to do. FYI.
You know what?
Go ahead, Daedric.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Finn. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, there's a reason we read the chat, right? The whole concept of why McVenom started this, I joined later as a newer player and everything, right? But the reason McVenom wanted to do State of Survival, she likes this game, and she wanted to make sure that it continued and growed, right? How do you do that? You not only try to make sure that your voice is heard to the devs, but she reads chat because she wants the community's voice, right? We don't read chat just for the sake of reading chat. We actually look at your opinions and discuss things with you because that is how we figure out, okay, these are some of the pressing topics. Maybe we missed something. Maybe we didn't see something. You guys see stuff too. It's not just about us. We just happen to be the mouthpieces that are on the screen right now. That's it, right? And we have communication with the devs that allow us to give you information. So what we want to do is give you the information when we can, so you know that it's reliable information. But we also want to make sure that we can go back to the devs and say, this is what we are hearing right now. This is what we think needs to be worked on. With them to be able to respect us and say, well, this is what we're working on. Don't tell anyone, but we're working on it. So continue to gather opinions and whatever else so we can get more feedback. And then we can do that on stream without just being blatant about it and saying they're working on state migration. Like, it's silly to think of where, like, you guys know what this is about. It is really about keeping this game going and trying to make sure that they're moving in a positive direction. And if it's not moving in a positive direction, we will say something. And it's things like, this is not good, this is bad, this is good, right? We did that with a few things in here, right? And the most notable I can remember, because it was like one of the first negative things I remember after joining the game, was that whole like March formation thing, right? We weren't just like going along with it, like, oh yeah, the March formation is great, hooray. No, we kind of mentioned
that's
that.
The thing I love about this. The devs don't actually give me much pushback about our streams. Our streams can be legit feelings and opinions on the game and interpretations about what we like and what we don't like. More than likely, we're talking about things we don't like. And they are absolutely listening, and they don't give me any pushback on what I can and can't do or can and can't say. And I mean, I'm getting a free forum to discuss my opinions with their full support of whatever I want to say and whatever we want to say. So, I mean, yeah, they want to hear it. Somebody said, unfortunately, I think the problem is that all of this has come far too late. I don't believe that the screenshot would have happened if the game about 6 months ago. I completely disagree, because 6 months ago, was this an issue? The game is still... No, this wasn't an issue 6 months ago.
Lively.
The game was still fairly new and lively. Like,
it still would have been an issue. The person who did this did it for
the person. Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
I agree about the person probably would have screenshotted and done things like this because you just do that. But I don't think the issue would have came out if you're talking about misinformation. Like Finn said, we're looking at the peak of this game. That's when you start getting community involvement and community engagement with developers, and developers getting more information out as they're learning, as we learn.
Yeah, so devil's advocate to that comment too, and so I disagree, same as Venom, but devil's advocate comment to that is, who's to say that they wouldn't have screenshotted a totally different subject on the same game 2 months later? You're basing it off of the conversation we're having, which is state migration. This could have happened with March formations. This could have happened with Plasma. This could have happened with new heroes. There is constantly a risk for any game company and their developers for people to react this way. It's not just on the basis of this conversation today. And I've mentioned it before. This bunker and Venom herself is a filter for the community. The reason why we have the standing and she has the standing she has is because you look at what we see on State of Survival Discord, their official Discord, rant, disrespect. And we see it all the time. The mods get absolutely trashed every single day for nothing they're responsible for. What players don't realize is moderators are players. They're players, but they have a contract with King's Group. The only thing moderators are responsible for is moderating the chat and moderating their respective state chat. They have no influence on game mechanics. They have no influence on feedback regarding how the game operates. Like they have the but they're not at the same level that Venom and the content creators have. It's a totally different relationship. So we are that filter. So you can't make blatant comments like, well, oh, it wouldn't have happened if they would have done this. Again, like I said, it is constantly a risk. The purpose of this group and what Venom has done is to push the relationship in a positive direction. So you know what? I can say confidently in this stream that yes, I can respect the devs. Yes, I support the devs. And yes, I'm going to be pro game. Because what's wrong with saying that? Does that automatically make me a bad player or not supporting the community? No, that means I'm an adult. And I know the type of relationship I need to have with the people who are supplying the game. Yes, I'm a consumer, but I'm also having a realistic, as you mentioned the word realistic, I have a realistic understanding of how it's a business and how it operates. I'm not going to be a ranty child in the background, which is what we see 90% of the conversations are in SOS official Discord. That is why they are so hesitant on having the conversation, because 9.5 times out of 10 interactions will be bitch.
Yeah.
That's not the intention. We can't move forward if that is what the approach is.
100% agree. 100% agree.
Self-pimping a little bit. You have two people right here that are medical professionals that have to deal with HIPAA all the time, so we know how to keep our mouths shut. I'm just throwing that out there.
I know how to keep this mouth.
Just throwing that out there. And even when McVenom says something, it's usually just going to come out as Burker, so no one's going to understand anyway. So we're fine. See, I'm telling you right here. This is where it is right here.
Even when I've been a little tipsy, I still keep my mouth shut. I just flub up my words. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think maybe that is a difference. But honestly, I would expect anybody on the bunker right now to keep their mouth shut about information. But even they know. I don't tell them everything because I do keep what I need to keep it quiet. But at the same time, I have trust in my handler that when I need to know something that needs to get out to who it needs to get out to, it's going to get out there. And I don't need to be the first one to say it. That's another thing that's a big thing, is like you don't always have to be the first one to get stuff out there, because if you don't think about what you're saying and format it in the correct way and put it out there in the correct way, it can be bad. It can be bad for a lot of people. So yeah, that's where we're at. Anybody else have any other discussion about this?
No, I think I'm like, for me, I'm happy with the vent. So here's the thing. I'm pro community, but I will also vent at the community if I need to. And today was a prime example of a situation where the community failed the game. And we're talking about the content creator situation, right? We're not talking game-wide State of Survival community fail. We're talking about a very special group failed the community based on their actions. And we continue to support behavior like that, which is just not appropriate. And again, I appreciate what we have set up here, Venom and Finn, the work that you've done, and obviously you guys supporting each other in this process. You know, this has been a pleasure to be a part of. And, you know, my message to King's Group would be, you know, take it as water under the bridge, and you clearly know people like Venom and who you can trust to continue pushing this forward. So again, I'm just happy to have had the opportunity to have a bitch session of my own.
So that actually ties in really well with Jeremy's 1, 2, 3 question. When did things change for the panel here? Because not long ago, Day said that the devs don't listen and he just signs in and does daily and leaves it. So why the program now? What changed? Actually, he just said it. We just said for the longest time when we were talking about that server that we weren't getting any feedback. We weren't, and it was making us unhappy because we weren't getting any discourse. The minute that we got it, a screenshot went out. So that is the problem, is that we weren't getting it before. We actually started to get a bit of feedback, and now this happened. Daedric will tell you all day that he's still not happy with the game 100%. That doesn't mean that he's not happy with the community. He's not happy with the fact that the devs are trying a little bit more right now. They made that VIP prestige, the VIP, you have your handlers. He actually said that he enjoyed that. He is not saying, I probably should let you say this, Dave, because I'm putting words on your mouth, but that's absolutely not a change of heart. It's just a progression of the state of the situation.
Yeah, you've nailed it on the head, and Jeremy, it's a fair point, fair question, right? So I'm going to give you kudos to your statement. You're absolutely right. No, I'm not happy with everything that's released. Have I considered throwing in the towel? Yes, I can tell you right now that past panel members that have been here are gone. Right?
Scorn is gone. Silverwolf is gone.
So we have a history already of that happening. People who have thrown in the towel. I haven't done that yet. Have I thought about it again? Yes. Have I been happy with everything? No. What I want to see, and what the progression has been, is the devs have in the past 30 to 60 days have started implementing little things for this group and panel, as well as myself individually, where I felt I've had a bit more influence and ground to gain. And so I'm not giving up, and I'm continuing to push with the conversation. I'm doing this for the game. I'm doing this for the community and for the people in this panel, because this is like a little family atmosphere, and we've created something really great here. So I'm continuing to show my support and King's Group that I want to see change. But that doesn't mean I have to be 100% satisfied with everything that comes out, and I don't have to be 100% satisfied with the time I put into the game. It's not about that. It's about the community, and that's what this bunker will continue to be, is for the community.
Yeah, Jeremy, and don't listen to me, Jeremy. If I start getting yelled at, I'm into the camera and I'm really high voice, that's just me. I'm Southern. I've been drinking. I'm Southern. We talk really loud when we get excited. It's not me fussing at you. I understand this is all discourse. You guys are all good. I love all of the questions that you have, even if they're ones that are thrown at us a little willy-nilly. I honestly love them all. You guys are great. I think I'm going to start getting mushy now. Our whole fan base is fantastic, and I love all of you guys. All of the questions are fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, keep bringing it. Keep bringing it. This show is a great way to just either hang out and talk game. And I think that we are completely, I don't think we sway to one side at all. It's always well, this sucks and this is pretty good. This was good and this was bad. It's always that way. But when it comes to people mistreating other people, that sucks. Abusing a mod, that is literally yelling at the Walmart greeter and being like, I didn't get my coupon.
Or I hate Walmart. He has anything to do with Walmart.
It's
they do get on my nerves sometimes.
Anything, but you gotta yell at the right person. If you're gonna yell at the right person, or else just go into your car or go into a closet in your house and just start screaming, because it's gonna do just as much good there that it does at yelling at the wrong person. Yelling at a mod, it's just God. If you go into SOS Discord, it's awful. It is awful. It's one of the most awful places in the world.
A great idea, and they're not going to do it, but this is just for the comedic effect. If the devs came out with a code, Keyboard Warrior, really to just piss off the keyboard warriors, but your prize, your collection for getting your code is 10 pieces of useless coal that do nothing but sit in your backpack forever. So every time the keyboard warrior logs in, they have to stare at those pieces of coal and know I am worthless.
Or just
Can I-
pure
Don't
gas.
tempt them.
Just-
They'll do
just
that.
give
They
pure
do
gas.
have. I'm gonna have to say they do have a sense of humor. They've been listening to our streams and the things that they post.
I would
they
want
listen,
that Cole.
They
Not gonna
listen
lie, I
to
want that
every
Cole.
stream and they pick up and they make the codes appropriate to the streams. So they might just do that.
You're an
Don't do
expert troller. We're gonna give you 1,000,000 gas.
that. I kind of need gas right now, so I'm okay with that.
If you need gas, just go to Taco Bell. They're really good for that.
Yeah,
Not
Cauliflower.
that kind of gas.
cauliflower and
Hi,
onions.
Celicia. Celicia's a new name we haven't seen.
She's in our.
Oh,
She's in
hey.
359.
What in the world? Why
Yeah,
haven't
she
I
is.
seen her in chat before?
Yeah, she's
was
in
actually-
359. She's one of our.
God.
She's like your neighbor, McDonough.
Oh no,
You're
I
like,
have seen Celicia in game.
I
I
was
meant
gonna
like in
move.
YouTube chat. Like I haven't seen
Oh,
that name
yeah.
in YouTube
Yeah,
chat.
she's.
I was gonna
she's
move
one of our
off a
359
trap,
members.
and Celicia moved into the spot, so now I get to keep my trap spot.
Oh, she's
Ha ha,
moved in.
Finn. Ha ha. Ha ha.
Nice
ha, ha.
to see you in game in YouTube stream, Celicia.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Celicia.
Um,
All right, so I do want to address something too, because we talked about we mentioned Cole's comment. Cole mentioned that like he was trying to type, but YouTube has a character limit, so it kind of cut him off in the middle of his comment. But he was saying that
Wow.
a few months ago he was kind of liking the game and the devs, but over the past months it's felt like they were ignoring a lot of the things they did, right? Like they were doing a test server, getting feedback, but they didn't seem to address it at all. There's people invested in the game and all these kind of things, right? So I do want to, Cole, I agree with you, right? The communication from the developers has not been high. I can tell you though that that's common with all games, and players are never happy about that, right? It's unfortunately a common scenario. But here's the thing. We are on episode 26.
26? Are you serious?
26 weeks that we have done that, right? That is how long? That's like over 5 months. We're at getting right around that 5 to 6 month range, right? What have we actually
look so
seen?
young.
I know, it's true. It's still not as good as
Don't say a
Backface,
word, Daedric.
but-
Don't say a word.
But
I
here's
look
the
young
thing,
tonight,
right?
right? I got a choker on.
Yeah, we're pretty much right at that like 5 6 month mark. So here's the thing. What have we seen since then, right? They've created the test server, right? The test server stuff wasn't there. The beta server stuff wasn't there, right? They've actually asked for feedback, which from what I gather from you guys wasn't there before, right? So it is unfortunate that they do these steps and it doesn't seem followed through. I am with you 100%. But it is a process of baby steps, right? This is something new that they are integrating. The fact that they have done these steps has shown that they are, and I'm sure there's other sources, right? But we know we've discussed that here. We have discussed that here, and we have done that. And we have discussed all of these things, and they have tried to do changes in the right direction. So what is the next step? It's working through and following through with that. They almost did it. They created a Discord server for content creators so they could give them information. What happened? Somebody leaked something. It's just one of those things. Like, so we're taking steps with the devs at the same time. It is a slow process, so I 100% understand the frustration from players, right? It makes sense as to exactly why players are frustrated. But what I'll say is that we've taken steps in the right direction, even though it doesn't feel like it, because it feels like maybe you're getting a little bit more ignored because you're giving this feedback and not getting anything back. But if anything that leak tells us, they're listening and trying to figure out a way to do it. They're just not going to rush into it, right? They're trying to see, they're not saying no to state migration. What they're saying is right now they can't, but they have to try and figure out what the proper way to do it is with the state. So I'm not trying to make you feel less angry at the devs. You have every right to feel that way. I'm not trying to feel
be as angry as you want.
Exactly. But what I can say is that over the last 6 months, while you may see it as doing the test server and getting the feedback and not getting the response or getting any kind of feedback from them as to being able to make changes, I'll look at it and say, well, we actually got a test server.
Yeah, when there wasn't even any communication at all prior. None.
Exactly.
Zero.
They actually tried to create a communication line with content creators. Like they've taken steps that have otherwise not been taken, and In the process, now there's a roadblock, right? There has to be, hopefully we're able to overcome this, but now there is a speed bump as we move down this road together with the devs. That's ultimately what this is. We want to go with the devs on the ride of this game and try to make it go in the right direction. Sometimes it'll steer off to the left. Sometimes we'll take the steering wheel and just yank it because we get angry and then go off road. It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
But ultimately we try to steer it in the right direction. Right now, they're moving in the right direction, but very slowly. They're kind of like foot off the accelerator, just randomly tapping the brakes because they're too worried about going too fast at 5 miles an hour. Like, that's where they are right now. But over time, we can get faster. And hopefully they are willing to open the lines of communication again with content creators, right? Because I can say right now, just having done similar things before, it would have been really awesome. Like, for example, the pad stuff, right? That you guys were discussing today. Venom and I are working on making more videos for you guys for SOS. Like, I showed her some of the stuff that we have, and I've changed a lot of stuff. So we're getting ready to put out videos. How cool would it have been if we were able to have a line of communication with the devs so that when they did 1.94 and when they added the pads, we could have done a video to break it down for you because they trusted us to get the information.
Yeah, they gave us information about the pad so that we could distribute correct information, not just us saying, hey, we tested this and this is how we think it's going to happen. Correct, good information. That's what we're going for.
Yeah, that's what this is all about, right? It's to get you guys information, but get you guys reliable information. When you hear it from us, you know that it's something told to us by the devs. We're able to tell it to you guys, and you can trust us. If we're not telling you something, either we don't know or we can't tell you. And if we can't tell you, there's probably a reason why we can't tell you. And that's the trust that we want you guys to have in us as the bunker crew, or the Burker crew, as I want to call us.
Burker!
The Burker crew. so, yes. And many will not. You're right. It's just sad.
It's fine. It's what it is. It is what it is. You know what? At the end of the day, you have two options with this game. You can either get mad and quit, which a lot of people have. A lot of friends of ours have. A lot of bunker panel members have. They've said, I'm done. I don't want to invest my time into this. And that's absolutely okay. Your time is your time. Your money is your money. Put it where you want to do it. But if you don't want to and you're still enjoying it, or you still enjoy the community that you have, or there's no other better game out there that you really want to play, then give it a chance. Let's just keep going with it. If you don't feel like it's moving in a forward progression, then don't spend your money in it and just wait around and see what happens. Or you can keep spending and keep fussing about it, whatever you want to do. But like, that's the two options you have. And so right now we're in that option of, we don't want to quit because we love the game. You know, we're not happy with it 100%, but we like our community. We like you guys. We like doing these streams. We like playing the game. I still like the game quite a bit. I love the game. I wish I had more time for it. So that's where we're going. We're moving forward, and we're being hopeful with what information comes out and hoping that we can just progress that information exchange more. That's where we're at.
Yep.
Basic thing. Now,
yelling today for a better tomorrow.
It's 11:24, and I want to get to an after stream for a little bit.
Okay.
So I want to talk about real quick. Number one, the Halloween stream next weekend is Friday night. Friday night is the SOS Bunker stream. So we're going to be dressing up in some costumes. I'm going to make these boys do some costumes with me. They can dress up as an SOS character, a zombie, whatever they want to do, they can do it. I'm still debating on what I want to do, but we're going to dress up for the SOS stream on Friday night.
I'm Ghost already.
Lame.
It's already there. It's already there.
So we're going to dress up on Friday night for the SOS stream. I haven't got a topic in mind for the SOS stream for Friday night, so let me know what you want to do. If you guys want to do like a serious topic, if there's something you want to hear, hit me up on the RSG State of Survival Discord. Daedra. Hit me up on the State of Survival RSG channel, the RSG channel State of Survival channel. Hit me up there with a topic suggestion. It can be something serious, or if you guys just want to have a fun Halloween night, we can do that too. I'll make Finn do some more Pictionary. That was fun. We could do some other fun things where we just do a Q&A, personal Q&A about our would you rather. I don't know what we want to do. My gosh, you guys are ridiculous. Stop it.
I feel like I'm watching
focus.
Scream. Nev Campbell is about to die, and Venom is Nev Campbell.
I can't even do it. Anyway, you guys hit me up with any suggestions for next week's stream. Otherwise, I'm just going to pick something randomly for our fun Friday night Halloween stream. Then we have, Fifu wants to know, can he pick your costume delete?
Tough to be that handsome, my friend. At least that's what they tell me. Oh.
So, you guys let us know.
Depends on you.
We'll work on that for Friday night. Saturday of the Halloween Saturday night, we're going to have a huge, is it a part of the charity stream, Finn? That Halloween night, or is it just going to be a Halloween night? It is part of the charity stream.
The Phasmophobia?
Yes.
Yeah, Phasmophobia is a charity stream. We're turning on scare alerts for the ACS.
So Saturday, Halloween night, we're doing a Phasmophobia scares-tacular, I guess, for our charity. Scare-tastic. It's going to be for the charity, American Cancer Society. All the money is going to go straight to that. We've raised how much so far, Finn, for American Cancer? $7,600 for American Cancer Society. Our goal is $10,000. So
we can get there.
So
for now,
Halloween
we might
night,
break that and set a new one.
Yeah, if we break that, we're going to set a new one. We're going to keep going with it. So Halloween night's going to be our Phasmophobia, and I'm going to get this shit scared out of me because that game scares me so bad. I scream all the time. If you haven't seen the GIF, go to RSG and see the GIF. It's ridiculous. I'm ridiculously scared on it. But anyway, that's going to be Saturday night on Halloween. So stay tuned for RSG. Turn on the bells to let us know what you're going to do. But Friday night is going to be our bunker, the Burker Halloween. So
we should do an Among Us. We should actually do an Among Us.
I would love to do Among Us. I honestly would. So we might do something fun. Who knows? We'll think of something.
Or as my son called it, humongous.
Humongous.
Yeah, he's got a tough time saying Among Us.
You know who is going to be sus to me every single time? Is going to be Daedric right there. Look at him. Sus. Always. Anyway, so we'll do this. Guys, we'll see you in the after stream. Also, tomorrow night, if you're interested, we're going to do a ladies-only Phasmophobia stream maybe tomorrow night, Finn, if he can arrange it in time, because I just sprung it on him today. But anyway, we'll do that tomorrow night. We'll see you guys in the after party. Until then, happy hunting, and thank you guys, all of you, for joining. It was a really great stream. I totally enjoyed the conversation. Great questions. You're awesome. Love you. Happy hunting.
Rock on, Jeremy. Vote Venom into office.
Burger!
Rock on, Alan is the code.